Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Under the Iron Flag. This week, we are doing a spoiler cast for God of War Ragnarok. And with us this week is, as usual, your Captain Iron Aggro,
A
myself, Lucian Graves, and a guest,
very
Preferred
special
Whale.
guest.
Yes.
Hey! Hi!
Welcome.
Thank you very much for coming, Whale.
Welcome to this professional podcast. Are we playing intros?
Yes.
Yes!
Very far ahead
No,
of time.
thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited.
Yeah. Very excited to talk about very, very good game. I hope something we
Yeah.
tend to agree on. We'll see.
Well, I think you and me talked about, or I talked to you about possibly doing something like this before the game came out, and then we were just kind of like, well, we'll see how the game is, and then immediately after, in the middle of playing it, it was just, of course, I want to talk about this for a few hours.
I probably didn't tell you, Lucian, but I was telling everyone else that I was running along in the way. I was just like, this is the best game I've ever played. This is my favorite game. So yes, big agree, hard agree.
Yeah. No, I really love it. It's great. Like story wise, gameplay wise. If this had the same gameplay as 2018, I don't think I'd be saying it's as good as it is. But I don't know, the feel of it is just way better, you know? I didn't feel. I'm sure you don't agree with this, Whale. I know you are a platinum collector yourself over here, but
Right.
I didn't feel the need to really go out and like 100% 2018. But playing this, I was like, well, I still want to do the rest. I guess I'll just like 100% it. So I did, and that's unusual for
Nice.
me.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah. Yeah, no, I
yeah.
totally. I wanted to Platinum 2018, but I played it on Give Me God of War difficulty.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm like a couple of trophies away, and I'm just like, I don't know if I can. It's
Understandable,
really
yeah.
hard. Yeah.
I'm good on normal. That's fine with me.
Yeah, that's where I play
Yeah,
it as well.
I played it on normal for Ragnarok, and it was enjoyable, but it was like I had been in literal like Valhalla learning how to fight, and then I played this and I was like, oh, it wasn't too bad. I definitely did die a lot in the end in Ragnarok, but I was like, maybe I should have bumped it up a little. But yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
In case it wasn't obvious by the spoiler cast, all the spoilers for all the games,
Oh yes.
Yeah.
even the old ones, probably,
Hmm.
possibly.
Yeah. What are your guys' experiences with like God of War as like a franchise?
Uh,
Like prior to
well,
Ragnarok.
for me, I had seen, God of War for, since I started caring about games, it was always around, and
Hmm.
it just was never a series that super interested me as a little child. Turns out I was not for
Really?
the ultra hyper violence, and
Angry
definitely would not have
psychopath
been
man
loud.
murders everything in sight was not up your alley.
I don't know. But then by the time I would have been interested, the games stopped, and then the bad one came out, and he was in PlayStation All Stars, and that's what the Kratos I knew for a while. And then 2018 came out, and I remember. I will never forget E3 2016, I think it was. It might have been 2015, whichever year, when they had that full orchestra come out, with Bear McCreary doing the composing for the entire time, and then they started with the God of War theme, and you didn't know at the time, and they pulled out that demo. That is my
That
I
sounds
think about
hype.
like game conference stuff. That is my favorite game conference ever, because not only was it like super great reveals, they also had a live orchestra performing for every single game demo.
Yeah, always good.
Oh, that is pretty big money.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a
True.
big money move.
They may have stopped for a reason. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, seeing that trailer made me go, "Oh, that looks really good." And then I stopped caring until the game came out, and that weekend reviewers were like, "This is incredible, one of the best games ever." And I'm like, "I have $60, I will buy it," and did. beat that thing in a weekend.
So you played it on launch,
Yes.
2018?
Yeah, I had no intention
Oh,
of buying it until like the day it came out, and I saw an ad or something. It was like, oh wow, how was this game? So like, it wasn't on my radar until the day. Outside, it was the day it was announced, and then the day it came out. Between then, I didn't care.
What about you, Will? Prior to Ragnarok, what God of War games have you played, and like what do you know about God of War prior to Ragnarok?
Yeah. So yeah, I played 2018 pretty recently and fell in love with it. And then other than that, I hadn't played any other God of War games. And
Hmm.
then I played Ragnarok. But everyone in chat loves filling me in on what I might have missed out on and things
I
like that.
I
So
did watch tons of like what happened in the first what is it 7 games? No, 6.
right, there's
What happened in
quite
the
a
first
few,
6
right?
Yeah.
games?
What happened in
Right.
Greece?
Turns out it can be summed up in like
Yes.
10 minutes. Uh
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah, the first ones were not super plot heavy, and half of them weren't really important.
Actually,
No.
yes, that is sort of the vibe I got. Like, because I was like, wow, this game's really cool. It's really deep. And people were like, yeah, Kratos has had like a really big character change. I was like, okay. And then they would
Yeah.
tell me like little things
Yeah.
that happened in the previous games. And I was like, I don't know if I would have enjoyed that.
Yeah, like he had a
Yeah.
little
It
bit of
is very
character arc,
different.
if I remember right.
Hmm.
Lucian, you tell us. You played them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enlighten us.
So, uh, for Christmas one year, I forget if it was Aggro or our other friend Shiloh, but one of them got me Assassin's Creed Odyssey and the other got me God of War 2018. And I said, I will play God of War 2018, but I've always been interested in the originals, and I'm way infinitely more interested in Greek mythology. So let me play those first.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so I did. And so
Oh,
over a period
nice.
of time, I played through them on PlayStation Now. What a mistake. Um, and through the laggy experience of streaming video games.
Wait, can I ask why? I've been in your room. You have like this game system right there.
Hmm? What
Why
do
do you
you?
play it on
No, no,
PS
because
Now? Oh,
because
the
PS.
old games. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, the old
sorry.
ones, bud.
I was very confused. Okay,
Yeah.
you can go now.
Uh. Mhm. Um. So I downloaded them, or streamed them, whatever,
Hmm.
played them, and the first one was tough. I wanted to pull my hair out so
Oh, no.
often. I was like, what? I hate this PS2 era puzzle, awful trash. Uh,
Oh.
but I loved the like mythology and general
Mhm.
vibes and everything, so I stuck with it. And you know, over time, it really grew on me. I played through 2 and 3, and eventually got to 4. And they're very different. Well, 4, 2018, whatever.
Yeah,
Uh,
7.
like, God, what a mistake. Uh, Kratos and like the Greek, you know, era, whatever,
Mhm.
is very just like angry, kill stuff. Like an emo teenager. Um,
Right.
you know, he's just going through a phase, man. But
That is
now,
definitely the vibe I got. That was just almost just hack and slash, like just
oh
Yeah, it
yeah,
very
was
macho, very yeah.
much more
hmm
it was like pure action game,
Mhm.
and then they had
yeah,
puzzles in there because PS2
it's
action games
very
thought they needed
like
puzzles and platforming.
when people talk about like video games being like gratification and all that, like
Mhm.
over the top violence and all that. They're talking about God of War. They're talking about the original God of War trilogy, and they're not wrong, but that doesn't mean it's not fun. Uh,
Right.
I think that and Gears of War are like the perfect representations of the PS2 and early PS3 era of games.
yeah, yeah, very different time. But then moving into 2018, I played it and I was like, wow, okay. this is a big change. The one thing I didn't like initially was just the voice change for Kratos. It works, and I love Kratos, and I love his
Mhm.
voice in the Norse games, but it took a bit for me because his voice is so
Yeah.
iconic in the Greek games, but otherwise the combat is infinitely better. Kratos is a character, not
Mm.
a not a caricature, um, and you know, it just everything plays out so much more in depth. It feels much more well thought out, and so I've had more experience with the series as a whole, but
Mm.
not over years, just over I don't know, the last 2 or 3 years maybe. But yeah, so that's my experience leading into Ragnarok. I did not do like all the side content in 2018. I didn't do the Valkyries or anything. I knew I'd get
Yeah,
like
Okay.
very tilted.
yeah. 2018,
I was like, not for me.
I did a few side quests and mostly made it mostly just the like. Though there were a few quests that had more story stuff to them.
Yeah, I did side quests, but not like Valkyries and collectible hunting
Yeah,
in
Yeah.
2018.
I did
I did.
one
I did
Valkyrie.
basically. Oh, nice. I found the Valkyries really fun, actually. So I did all the Valkyries, and I got up to the Valkyrie Queen, and she's hard. She's very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't really get around the mist area. I don't really like that
Oh man, I remember.
I
world.
think I
What was
went
it?
there once and
Yeah, I
left.
went there one time. Went in, died. I was like, I do not want to do a roguelike in this
Yeah,
game.
I don't even think I understood
yeah.
what it was. I think I was just like, I don't know what this
That's
is,
just
but
good
I don't
loot
like
and
it.
things like that. Yeah, no, I'm really glad it's very optional.
I I
Yeah.
really like 2018. I think it's a very good game. I could probably we could probably do a whole podcast on the things I don't like about it though. I have a lot of
Yeah,
small nitpicks. Thankfully they
gotcha.
fixed all
A
those in
lot
the
of
next game.
troll-sized nitpicks as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which they also fixed in this, thank God.
I'm so interested to hear those.
Oh, the biggest complaint I think for me and probably everyone I've seen is just the lack of enemy variety in the first game,
Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
where there's a couple Draugr like variations which are just color differences. Uh,
Yeah.
there's the trolls, the like the tiny ones, and then the trolls with the big rocks, and then the
Hmm.
wolf guys, and I think that's it.
Yeah,
Right,
there's not
right. I
much.
see.
Everything else is a slight variation of that. And then for bosses in 2018, you have Baldur twice, the dragon, and then the Valkyries. And I think that's actually it in the whole
Trolls.
game.
Lots of
Oh,
trolls.
trolls.
I
I guess
completely
trolls count as
forgot
bosses.
about. Right. I
I'll never.
completely forgot about the dragon. You're right.
Yeah, I mean that was
Oh, yeah,
that was like
I
the
also.
only really
Yeah.
cool set piece I was a big fan of. But I will
Mm.
never forgive them for the moment of where you've gotten your blades. Um, you just got the blades, had the big dramatic moment. Athena showed
Mm.
up, and you're going to hell. You're trying to look for the gatekeeper's heart, and I come up across a ridge,
Oh.
and I see who we learn is Hell, the
Restfelger,
Harrisvelger. In the distance,
Keeper
the
of Hell.
giant bird. And I'm like, I'm gonna get a fight the giant bird. I need that thing's heart. That's so cool. And then the camera
I
pans
want
down to
your
the
armor.
left, and it's just another reskinned troll.
Right. Yeah, I can see that perspective. Yeah. I see what you
It
mean.
was tough.
Thankfully, I think there's one. No, there's no mandatory. Is there any mandatory trolls in the Ragnarok?
I don't think
The
so.
first one?
Maybe
First one?
one, and they make a joke of it or
I think
something.
there's like
They do make a
there's
couple
a
jokes
yeah.
about like the
There's a fire and
Kratos,
ice
the
one just
troll
hanging
slayer,
around.
basically. But like Mimir makes jokes as you're going around Midgard, like, yeah, brother, there's no more trolls. Like we exterminated all of them. But yeah. So what about like story stuff wise? I guess we should probably get into that a bit. What do what are some standout moments
Just
for you guys?
general game
Yeah,
story
yeah.
thoughts. Everything.
Fair.
Everything. Like I I have no complaints with anything in the story. Like I don't even have a nitpick.
What about you, Will? Anything?
We're talking about Ragnarok, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. No. You just said like what was good or what we enjoyed about the story?
Yeah, yeah.
Just
And,
general
if you have
general
anything like
thoughts.
negative about it as well, like
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah, I don't
easier
know
to
how the
think of as they're fewer.
fair.
um I really loved it. Like you were saying before, the gameplay, I really liked the soundtrack. I really enjoyed the acting this time around. It felt really
Hmm.
like personal and I felt like I learned I actually personally learned some things too, and like you could see the characters learning things, and I don't know, it was like perfect. It really was a really fun story for me to like take in and be part of, be immersed in.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like Anagar said, just everything good. I have no complaints. I think there was really this only like the there were a couple of things where the characters would be like, "Oh hey." That thing sticking out of the ground looks suspicious, or like they'll point it
Mm.
out to me, and I was like, oh, I was getting
Yes,
there.
I've
But then
heard
I
Yeah.
that
thought
as a
about it.
major complaint from a lot
Yeah,
of
it's like,
people.
hey, chill, bro. I know I'm doing other
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, but I was also like, oh, in real life, these people would point out things to me like, oh, I think this might be important. Like they
Yeah.
wouldn't just walk around and be silent. Like that's
Mhm.
just not.
I
So it
guess
wasn't a
the
big deal for me in the end.
volume of them may be like unnatural, but them being
Right.
there felt natural, if that makes sense.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally,
See, like
totally. Yeah.
I'm the person who play tested the game that they were like, we need to put these voices in for. I don't know
Yeah.
how to solve the puzzle. Tell me, please.
Actually,
There were
no.
a couple where I was like, where is the hint? Dear God, just
Really?
tell me what to do. On like side
Really?
quest stuff, like
A
where
couple of
there
the
there wasn't a
Norn
voice line and it
chest or
was
whatever.
too early to look anything up online. I was like, oh my God.
Yes. That is one thing about playing it on launch, isn't it? That
Yeah.
you're the pioneer, you're the one finding out.
Yeah, like the third target for like a Nornir chest or something, and I was like, oh, this is
Oh.
torture.
Oh, the worst for me were I forget what it's called, but the purple arrow, the sigil arrow
Yeah,
where you have
the
to
sigil
connect.
ones, those are
Yeah, where you
tough.
have to connect the fire thing. I got
Oh,
so mad at a couple of them.
did you? Oh no.
Like looking
Um,
at a guide and they're like, okay, so shoot
yeah.
right here and here this many times, and I'm like, I did that multiple times. Please, just give it to me.
Yeah, I never had to look up a guide for
Yeah.
those, but those were frustrating. Yeah, they
I'm
were
pretty sure I
cool,
did.
but they were frustrating.
I'm pretty sure I just did some really like in a janky way. I was like, there's no way this is the actual solve.
Same.
I have like a very very general outline of the big sections of the game, and I figure we could go through them, and
Cool.
if you
Yeah.
think of
Yeah, yeah.
something from that section, cool. If you think of something from the end of the game, that's cool too. Interrupt me, please. Uh,
Yeah.
I
I
made
just
this
want
in
to
ten
say, I
minutes.
feel like I have lots to say about this game, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to just be me talking for an hour. So yeah, I'll try and
You're the
slot
very
mine in.
special
Hey, that's
guest.
also fine.
You're the very
Yeah.
special guest. You're allowed to do that.
Feel free. The one thing before we get started on that I will say that did stick out to me, and I'm just curious if this was answered and I'm just stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Was like one of the like mysteries in 2018 was like who blew the horn for
It's not
Jormungandr,
not
right?
answered in the game.
That wasn't answered?
It wasn't
Okay,
answered.
just want to double
Oh.
check that I
Corey
wasn't
Bar.
just dense.
It was set up to be a plot point. They decided to not do anything with it, so Corey
Cool.
Barlog
Okay.
just said on Twitter or something it was Boulder.
Cool. All right.
I would like
Totally
to say
fine.
that is a complaint I have. I'm mad. I spent years going like, who did it? Who did
Nah,
it?
I'm fine with it not being important. I just wanted to know that like it wasn't,
I'll
and
be
I
honest.
didn't miss it and was a
I
big
wanted
dumb
the
dumb.
time travel to be more important because, like, he was blowing the corn for Jormungandr, and Jormungandr is inherently time travel.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, you guys might have to explain
yeah.
that part to me. It all happened, and I was like, no, I don't. I still don't understand.
That's fair. Yeah. I picked up on
Yeah.
it over time, but we can.
Gotcha.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So we start with Kratos in a cave with a cool-looking jacket thing that he never gets back, and I hate it.
Right.
He loses it in 5 minutes. I just like to note that. It's literally gone in the first cutscene. He wears it on the box.
It's too cool. Too cool for you to have. At least it's not a pre-order bonus.
No.
Covers up all the muscles, I guess.
Yes, that was a big important part of my playthrough. Was Kratos looks weird wearing a full shirt, so I can't wear any full shirts.
Oh my god.
It's weird. But it has been 3 years since 2018. In game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to forever hate that game doesn't have a subtitle. It's going to be the bane of this series' existence for the next 30 years. But
yeah.
It's been 3 years. Atreus is older. They've been training
Atreus hit puberty.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Atreus's voice!
Oh.
I loved it! I was like, oh, of course, he grew up, like, in real life.
I know, that's the thing I like, is like it's not just an in-game thing with like, adult woman voice actress. It's like, oh no, this is like an actual kid who actually grew up.
Yeah.
It felt very like genuine,
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, he like overall Atreus did a great job, like his actor this game.
Oh,
yeah.
truly.
Yes, they're out hunting, and they're on the way home. They encounter Freya, who has been hunting them with a fiery passion for a long time.
Our best friend Freya.
Oh yeah.
The bestest
who is
friend.
totally chill with us murdering
She's
her
very-
son. Not upset at all. Has not been hunting us for 3 years.
Yeah, I was curious how they were going to do that without making it seem like Freya was completely incompetent and had done nothing for 3 years, and just having them have put back the barrier up makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good barrier they should have used more often, but you know what? We can write it off. Let's see I was gonna skip over it, but then they get home, and their dog dies.
Yep.
Yeah, that is important.
I
is
cried
very important.
right away, and I was like, "Wow, already? Okay, it's gonna be that kind of game."
Can I say, like, my first reaction to that was, wow, Fenrir is small.
Yeah, well,
funny.
I couldn't be sad about it because my
like, man,
immediate
that's
thought
Fenrir?
was like, how did Fenrir just die? Like, one of the most important figures in Ragnarok just was introduced and then died a minute later. I was like, that. What I didn't get it. I was like,
I just thought he was
what's
real
the plan?
tiny for being like Fenrir, who I know is like an important god within Norse mythology.
Oh, well, that's so much fun for you guys. Oh, no, I guess not fun because you were like, hang on. But for me, I was like, I didn't know who he was. So I was like, oh no, sad the dog died. Like I didn't. The wolf. I didn't have anything beyond that.
Yeah, that is the thing that's what I like about the God of War games. Less about the Norse because I just know less about it, but is just the mythology stuff. That's what I play for. Over time I've played more for Kratos and Atreus and Freya and their story, but I played for the mythology, and
right.
That's what got me into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not an expert or anything, but like, while Lucian has Greek mythology, I really like Norse mythology, and have for a while, thanks to almost entirely Stan Lee and Marvel.
Oh, really? I thought it was more from God of War.
I mean, that was eventually, but like I watched Thor back in 2011 when it came out.
Oh, okay.
I was like, this guy has a hammer,
Hmm.
cool. And then and then like there is just so many things that I could point to that take a lot of influence from Norse mythology.
Well, yeah.
Uh, but well, that's another conversation. But the day
It's a different
before,
podcast.
yes, uh, the day before, what is it? The day before the game came out, I listened to Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology, the audiobook for it, which I had listened to some of before, but having listened to it like the day before, I was debating it. It was like, maybe was this gonna ruin the game for me or anything? But no, it made it way better. Like I wouldn't have had any clue who Angerboda was.
I still don't. I just know she's my probably my favorite character. That's who she is.
Oh yeah.
I love Angerboda, man. She got introduced and I was like, okay, Angerboda is the new best character in this game. Like all of her interactions with Atreus were so great. I just instantly was like, okay, she is my new favorite.
Hmm.
I like you. I hope you stick around, and she did.
Kinda, mostly.
Well, you know.
So yeah, back at the start, there the dog's dead, so Atreus is sad and naturally turns into a bear.
Yes.
He's a druid.
I was so excited that the first boss fight was a bear. I didn't realize you could summon your axe for that fight. I thought you
What?
were I thought
Oh
you
my
just got to fist fight a
goodness.
bear for the start of the game.
That's
so
way
I
cooler.
fist fought the bear.
I wish I fist fought the bear.
So that was a pretty tough fight.
Really
I gotta
gave your
say.
son a beat
Like,
down.
wow, this is a good.
I
this
don't
is
need
a
no axe
strong
to beat
start.
you down, son. I just
Yeah,
need
maybe that
these
would've been-
hands.
Exactly. Maybe that would have been the more appropriate.
Yeah, that's the
I won't
lore
chop my own
approach.
son up. Yeah. Did you guys notice the soul pieces come out and
I
then
did.
one go into the knife at the beginning?
I
Yeah,
didn't see it go
yeah.
into the
No, you
knife. I
did
did see them
notice.
come out.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I only noticed because of Kratos pointing out he's talking. Well, I mean, I saw it happening, and then Kratos was like, what spell were you chanting there?" He's like, "What are you
Yeah.
talking about?" I was like, "What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Didn't you see it?
Did you just
Yeah.
accidentally cast a spell?"
Yeah. So I noticed it, but I didn't notice that one had gone into the knife. So
No, I
that
did
was
not
pretty
notice
cool.
that. When
Yeah.
actually later on when they bring up the knife again, I thought they were talking about the knife from the first game. Because I believe they had a knife that had a guy in it in a side quest. I don't remember the details, but there was a side
Okay.
quest
I
where
don't
you
know that
got a
one.
knife and a guy was in it, and you ended up taking him with you.
Really?
Hmm.
You have
Yeah.
a second Mimir?
I think it was a knife. I feel like it was some sort of item. It might have been a ring, maybe.
I think it's the ring. I
It
think
was
it's
a
the ring
Okay, it was a ring.
from one of the
It's been.
dwarves.
I've not
Yeah.
replayed.
That
I have not
sounds.
replayed the game since 2018.
That sounds right.
Yeah, and I think it talks to Atreus.
That's
and,
it. Okay,
Yeah.
it was a ring,
Yeah.
not a knife.
Oh, okay.
But I forgot what item it was, but I remembered that thing. But I thought
Mm.
I wouldn't have thought it wasn't for the fact that they mentioned like you basically it's canon. You did all the side quests in 2018. You fought the
Yeah.
Valkyries,
Which
you
is
did
really
everything.
cool.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh,
awesome.
really
I
cool.
was like, thanks for giving me credit for the stuff I didn't do. I'll take it.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I did do those things. You're right. We did do all that work.
It's as I was playing it, I was like, man, this would be really cool for Whale.
Yeah.
This must be really cool for people who actually 100% this.
It actually was really cool to hear them like nod back to the different experiences we had.
Mhm.
It was, yeah, it's just such a good rounded, like, yeah.
Yeah, they mentioned like some
Yeah.
side quests and stuff here and there. I remember they mentioned my favorite.
Sigrun stuff was cool with Sigrun and Mimir.
Oh yeah, all the secret stuff.
Yes. I'm so glad they dove into that a little bit more because I was like, hey, isn't that? And then yeah. And then they did. And I was like, yes.
But after he turns into a bear and he's destroyed all the protections around the forest, we get the prophesized visit from Thor. Like, man, seeing that like post-credit scene, or I guess technically post-credit scene, from the first game, here again, I was so excited.
Right.
And
I was
think
like,
I
yes, I
forgot
get
about
to
it.
fight Thor. Let's go, finally.
Yeah.
Also, what did you guys think of that fight? That was one of my favorite fights in the whole game.
yeah,
It was
that
really
might
fun.
be my favorite boss fight. I'd have to think about it. It was just everything around it, like the whole conversation leading up to it
Mm-hmm.
was one of my
Conversation, and
favorite
then him
moments of the
taunting
game.
you during it, and the
Oh
cutscenes
yeah,
in the middle.
big time.
Yeah,
Uh,
Yeah.
my favorite moment of the game
the
is
only
in the
thing that would
fight.
make it cooler would be a restart from beginning button, and not a restart from checkpoint, so that way I can beat his ass from the
I
start
believe they turn
and
it
not
off
get
in Give Me
saved.
God of War.
Really?
Yeah, they turn it off, and then you can turn it on, like through accessibility options.
So what happens in Gimme God of War?
It's hard.
No, meaning like, so you just start back at the start of the
You just
fight,
start
like the
back at
very
the
beginning?
beginning unless you go into accessibility and turn it on.
Oh,
As
I wish
secondary
accessibility had an
information, don't
option
quote
for
me.
the opposite.
Yeah, there's a few quality of life
Mm.
changes that like that, and turning down the voices. You know, they're the help or whatever.
The frequency of them,
Yeah, like
like,
that. You
yeah.
know, I'm fine with them, but I'm sure that would help some people.
Mhm.
But yeah,
But
my
yeah, that fight
favorite,
was really cool.
like legitimately my second favorite moment in the whole game is when Thor kills you in the fight and then brings you back.
Yeah.
That was
That
cool.
was
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, I'm trash. I'm
Mhm.
dead already. You know. And then yeah.
I was like, oh man, they're really going in on the button presses. I guess I started to like.
No, I did that and I was like,
Mm.
oh, this is a scripted death. Okay. I was like, I know I mash fast enough, so this is scripted.
Right.
I was
And
late
then
on it. I
I
was
I
holding the
could.
controller in my left hand, and then that happened. I was like, "Oh no!" and panicked. Oh
What's funny
man,
is
I wanted
because
to do it
it's
so hard.
Thor, and because it was a scripted death,
Mhm.
my brain went to like, oh my god, he's gonna resuscitate me. Like before he
That's
started
cool.
doing it, I was like, oh my god,
No,
that's so cool.
no, I think there's one of the beautiful things about this game is that a lot of it was consistent. Like there were lots of times, like at least two or three times where I would say something and then a character in game would say word for word what I just said, and I was like, that is so weird. They've
Yeah.
really like thought about everything that's going, like everything that's going into this. I
Hmm.
walked somewhere and I was like, this is definitely an ambush, and then a trace is like, this is definitely an ambush, and I was like, that was weird. So
Uh,
yeah, you sort of predicting that he was going to revive you, like, it's consistent, and I think that's what I really enjoyed about this game.
yeah, for sure.
I just never would have thought they would do something that cool. Like you
It's
don't
just
get
my
that
brain
like.
went to like lightning god, stopped heart, boom. It's
Right.
done in too much media for it to not be done here.
Mm.
True. No, you're right. I think fake out
And it's
deaths in video
really,
games.
really cool here too. It was
Yeah.
done well.
Well, especially because, there are some tropes in fake out deaths where it's like, the camera starts panning out and everything starts fading to black, and it's like, okay, I'm ready to start loading and start my next turn, and then it's like, no, that's not what's happening here. It's like, oh, let's go.
It's very hype, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would listen to. I'm now going to steal other podcast content. A Spoilercast that had the director on it. And he in there he was asked about like that scene, and he talked about how they spent like weeks trying to make it work, but because of how like the whole engine worked, they couldn't get the loading screen to go up right and then come out when they wanted it to.
Ah.
Um, and they were like, okay, we're done, we're cutting it. And then some guy who on the team who like really wanted it went and worked on that thing all night. I was like, here is a working model. I make it. I
Wow.
have it. It's done.
We
That's
have that one
awesome.
guy to thank.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
one
you,
guy.
passionate
Thanks.
game dev.
Oh man, if it wasn't for a moment at the very end, I would be my favorite in the game. Like it was
Yeah, I
so
really
cool
I'm
like-
and something I
excited to
wouldn't
get there and find
expect.
out what.
But that whole like
Yeah, the whole
show me
fight
the
was-
god of war.
Mhm.
Like I don't want to see this side of you. Like show me the god of war.
Yeah, and
Like
like I don't know
that
why.
was so cool. And in my mind, I was like, yeah, show him the god of war, Kratos.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Show
do
him the Greek
it.
Kratos.
And like I don't know why, but I didn't. It took me way too long to realize that Odin didn't want us dead. Like if we had, he would have killed us if Odin had wanted us dead. Like I don't know why. Like for so long, it hit me. It didn't hit me of like, oh, Thor wanted to fight us, and that was cool. No, Thor just, you know, he was there to beat him
Yeah,
up a
there's the
bit, not kill him.
what's it called? The blood what? Blood
The
tithes, blood something. What's it
blood.
called? Blood payment, something to that
Yeah,
effect
blood
of like,
payment.
Owing something, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very
Debt? Blood
uh,
debt?
blood debt.
Yeah, something like
Mhm.
that. Yeah, blood debt. I think that's it.
But it's very like common in most Norse mythology stories of like
Oh, okay.
person A dies, the person who killed them owes them something worth them.
Mhm.
And in this case, he just wanted to beat him up a bit and a good fight. And Odin got what he wanted, and they set off after Tyr,
Yeah.
heading out to Svartalheim. Encountering one of my favorite like early bosses was the centaur, because I did not expect that.
Yes.
That boss was the bane of my existence, dude.
Oh.
I was like, "Where's my shield? I can't parry.
No, that
Give
boss
me
was
back
like
my tools."
made for those blades.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe
I
that's
like
why I
the-
struggled with it.
Absolutely, like,
I just rocked
Because they
the.
put that's the first boss you have right after you get the blades back, or well, the blades for the
Is
first
it
time.
really?
Yeah, because you only get them
Oh.
after the. Remember the fight with Odin's only with the fist.
No,
for a
I know
little bit,
that,
Then you get
yeah.
the axe, and then you only pick
Oh.
up the blades on the way out of the house to go find Tyr.
Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah. I just.
I like-
Assumedly, Kratos doesn't use those unless it's
Yeah. What was your favorite weapon,
Mm.
Whale? Like, what was
Ooh,
your
yes,
preferred
I am
weapon?
Curious.
Oh, the axe is always my preferred weapon.
Cool. Same.
And
Based.
wrong, all wrong. The blades all day, every day.
Actually,
Nah.
no. No, I really like the axe, and then I really liked the spear.
Same. Yeah.
The
No,
spear's
same
so
for sure.
good,
The spear was so cool to use too.
It's
Like
just so
the feeling of just
cool.
unloading a bunch of spears on someone and then just
Yeah.
exploding them
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
And it has
I-
like the Spartan like flair to it as
Mhm.
well with like the red.
Exactly.
It's so cool. It's just it's
It
a
was
Kratos
so
weapon.
cool. And like I had to get used to it though, because I was so used to throwing the axe and then recalling the axe. So I would throw a spear and then blow the spear up, and I was like, I don't need to do that. I need to not do that.
Yeah.
Through a lot of the game, I spent a lot of it going like, I'm not using the fist as much as I did in the first game. I guess they're just not as good. Like I didn't think about why I wasn't using the fist as much. I just remembered using them
Right.
more often. And when I got
You just
after
weren't
getting
using
the
the
spear,
axe.
realized because they removed how much stagger that thing does, so that the spear can be cooler and do more stagger.
Oh, did they
Ah.
really?
Like
I
I
see.
don't know the exact. I
Oh.
can't tell you the exact details on it, but it definitely does
mhm.
less stagger than in the first.
It does a
game.
bunch of knockback though. Like
Yes.
Right.
if you're fighting like a normal enemy,
Mhm.
like I don't know if you guys did like the Muspelheim things, but like there's the one where you have to like knock enemies off into the lava or whatever, because they are just regenning too fast to kill them normally.
Oh yeah,
and,
yeah, those are fun.
Yeah, the axe is the way to go on that because you can
Oh,
either fling
yeah.
them off with
I can-
holding
yeah,
R2, or just throw the axe away and just go barehanded,
I
which
didn't,
is
I
by
didn't think
far the
about that at
easiest.
all.
Yeah, you just Sparta kick them into the lava over and over and over again, and they
Of
all die.
course.
Yeah,
It was made for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
the biggest change to the axe in this game was the change of what like the hold R2 does. I think. In the first game, it was
Yeah.
like it was just you held it and he did like a big, he held it over his head and did a big swing down. And it was just like pure damage.
Ah.
It would insta kill enemies if they were below like a certain health percentage.
You're right. Yeah.
It was cool, but I find that like I like the utility of the spin way better
Hmm.
because I
Oh, the
love
spin.
just
You just
hitting it into something
kill
and
people. You
flinging
just
them
throw
off.
them off.
Yep, which you could not do in the first game.
Mm-hmm.
It feels better. Like it might be less useful. I don't know. Like objectively, it might be like less optimal, but the feel of it is better. You know.
Oh, it's less damage but more utility.
Yeah. Was the imbuing stuff in 2018? Like you know how you press like L1 and then triangle
No, that
and
was
then
new. That was new.
I thought so. That was really good. That is how I got like big damage on a bunch of the harder bosses.
Yeah, I
But
enjoyed using that.
yeah,
I
just
definitely
spam out
didn't use it as
projectiles.
often as they probably wanted me to, but
Yeah, same.
except I used it a lot when I was fighting enemies weak to that specific thing.
Right.
But outside of that, not too often. It was still, again, I think this game like improves the combat so much. Just like a small change that I don't think a lot of people notice immediately is like the fact that the camera is farther from Kratos.
Oh, is it? I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like dramatically farther, but it's
Ah.
just far enough that it really makes a difference to me.
Actually, that makes sense because it did feel like I could predict the enemy's attack better
Yeah,
than
you
the
have
first one, and I think that is because it was further away enough that I
wider
could like
FOV.
see. Yeah.
I wonder if there were
Ah.
any accessibility options to make it wider. I'm looking now, but
I don't know.
just curious. Like, there's so many accessibility stuff in this game as well. I just
Yeah,
was
Yeah, that's
curious. Like,
excellent.
It's insane.
can you zoom it out more?
Please tell me
Wouldn't
because I want
surprise
to.
me.
Let me just play God of War 3 in this game.
Yeah.
That's what I want. And they make up for what like you can't see with the arrows, which are pretty accurate, and Mimir as well with his battle
Yeah.
shouts.
It is helpful.
You're on fire. I can't do an
Oh
accent.
my god.
You're on
That was
fire,
the worst
brother.
one. That's
Okay.
the worst
Thanks,
one.
Those
thanks,
ones.
Amir.
Yes.
It'll pass.
I didn't know. Thank you.
That would happen multiple times in the same fight.
I love him saying that because it's
Yes.
like, in what world can you tell that to someone? If you were on fire and I said, "Oh my God, Aggro, you're on fire," it'll pass.
Mm.
Like, that's not normal. You can't just tell someone they're on fire and then just whatever. It'll go away, I
It's
guess.
funny. Yeah, that's funny because he says that, and I'm like, yes, I know I'm on fire, and I still keep hitting the guy when he's on fire too, and I don't know
Yeah.
why.
All those the Draugr hole fights, I basically fought them on top of their fire hole the whole time. It's whatever.
Later on, I was able to, but the early one, I think the first or second one I ran into, I got like a little tilted on and struggled with, but past that, it was the one when you're going to save tier, the Svartful, Svartalheim, right?
Svartalheim,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Apple Core one.
Yeah. The
Pirate looking one.
Kind of, yeah. Where it's like
think I
inside
know-
of that
I think I know what you're
closed
talking about.
room there.
Oh yeah. I remember that. It was right near Tyr's room.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So yeah,
That's the one I struggled most on.
you get through
The
the
Draugr
dwarf
holes.
town and then get to
Yeah.
there and like
Yeah.
that like whole section. Wait, you know what actually? Oh well, whatever. We can talk about this. We'll go back later
Yeah.
because there's a whole open world area that is there.
Mm-hmm. Leading to the main story,
leading up to tier. Like I spent like 5 hours there. I want to say 3 to 5 hours
me
somewhere in
too.
there.
Mm-hmm.
I was just cruising around.
Yeah, I spent my time. Like I did not rush.
No, that
Yeah,
whole time
neither.
getting like Mimir backstory was. I really liked that whole plot line across that area.
Yeah. Like the Lungbaka, the whale, and then
I can't
the
remember the name.
Oh my god,
mining
yes!
the mining stations.
Yes! Learning more about them. Yes, I
I
see what
really
you're
like
saying.
that as well. Like
amazing.
seeing his sins and like what he has done in the
Mm.
past, and not just like, "Hey, brother, like do this, do that. I'm the smartest man alive."
You're
It's
on
like,
fire.
yeah, but you've also done some pretty bad stuff. I mean, so
Yeah.
has Kratos. You
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
cut to him throwing, lady into, like thing to keep door open.
Yeah,
he is no saint. And that's why I think he's willing to, accept people's mistakes and move on. But not without shaming them first.
Yeah, well, even just like getting to those moments, and Mimir's like, I don't really want to talk about it. I was like,
Mhm.
this is very unlike you. Like, this guy talks his everyone's ear off. Like, what? He doesn't want to talk about this now?
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
then,
and
yeah, he's just
I
like
just
really embarrassed.
I loved Kratos during the whole thing of him just being completely understanding of all of it and like saying
Yeah.
like you have nothing to be sorry for, like to apologize for. It's in the
Mm.
past, and you did your
But he was
best.
also like he was pissed. He was pissed about like
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
Loonbaka. He
yeah.
was like, I forget what he was referencing from like the original games. I don't know what he was referencing, but something about like him also having enslaved someone, basically.
He knows what
Like
it's like to be enslaved,
the
Chained.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
to be
yeah,
chained.
right.
That's it.
But um, you know, so that leading to his sort of general just initially being so what's the word? I don't know.
Like
Tense
showing
with Mimir.
disdain.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Disdainful.
yeah.
That's a better word.
Yeah, no, because I didn't play the other games, I don't really know, but I assumed, from what he was referencing, that he was talking about himself, that he was
Yeah.
relating to, you know, feeling imprisoned and stuff like that
Mhm.
with
Hmm.
this whale, and then yeah, I can't remember if it was in that same like moment or around there, but like he calls Mimir brother, and I was like, has he ever called him brother? I don't think he has. I think that was the first time. I was like, that is so cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, I love just in general Kratos's like relationship with everyone around him. Like I can't remember
Like just
when.
growing, right?
Yeah, Kratos is
Yeah.
so good in this game, but like at some point in the game,
Hmm.
he I forget the line, but like needing help is not something to, or needing people or something like that is not something to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
And like
Deep,
the
deep
idea of
cut.
Kratos saying that, even at the start of this
Exactly.
game,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
man,
Mm-hmm.
I
And
can
him
I
finally like learning, he felt like he was trying to learn, like, in a similar vein to sort of Mimir and Svartalheim. You had uh Atreus and Alfheim with like Atreus being like, why are you so pushy about doing this with me? Like, why are we releasing this what I don't know the name of it. I'm gonna butcher it. The giant jellyfish with a Norse name.
Tough
mm,
or something like that.
have
Yeah. Harf
Hafgufen,
something.
whatever. Harfgufa.
Yeah. Harfgfa, thank you. Okay, I think that's right.
I hope it is.
Um and he just keeps pushing. He's like, why? Well, like, he's still torn between the battle between the dark elves and the light elves, and right and
Mm.
wrong, and should we even be interfering here? And eventually, Mimir, when they freed, is like, dude, he just wants to spend time with you.
Mm.
Relax. He just wants to spend time with you, bud. He's like, really? Kratos is like, yeah, I just, I'd like to enjoy the time we have together. If Ragnarok really does come, then I want us to enjoy some time together. I was like, oh my god, he
I
never would have
know.
done that before.
No.
Like,
Ah,
never
so good.
admit it,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
those tiny moments that you would get just from like side quest dialogue were
Yeah.
so potent. I don't know, they
So
were really
deep.
good.
Yeah. Yep. Well, even with that specific kind of side story, like saving the animals is like an Atreus thing, and
Right.
sticking to
Yeah.
the plan is like a Kratos thing. So they're like swapped in that moment.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, it's very it is very fun seeing like and Atreus being like, why though? Like, why are
Yeah.
you thinking this? I know why I want to do it.
Yeah.
Why do you want to do it? You never want to help. You're always against my plans.
It's kind of that thing where you just want the person to admit it, right?
Right.
Like
There
he
were just so
yeah.
many of those tiny moments that that
Mm.
was one good example, but there were just so many of those small moments throughout the game that made it
Mm,
special.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Uh, um back in Svartalheim, and we freed a whale, and now we get to go on a train ride, followed by a trip down the Splash Mountain, or no, Pirates of the Caribbean more. uh, that felt like
Goddamn
such a
train.
theme park. Like the boat ride in the cave at the beginning. Like I felt like I was in just the Pirates of the Caribbean at Disney World.
Oh no, I agree. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the
How many
boat- the
times did
boat
you
and the
guys
train.
ride that train?
Huh?
How many times did you guys ride that that mine train thing?
I rode
The-
it a couple of times when I
What?
was trying to do
You can
tidy
ride
up
it more than
the like
once?
plat.
Yeah, when I had to go back for you know, like ravens and different
Yeah.
side quests and stuff, and then I'll talk about it later, but there was a different thing I had to go back for. I had to ride that thing too many times. I was like, why?
No.
Why didn't you put a teleport point up
Yeah, I'll
here?
let you know. I did
had
not
the
plat the
same
game.
reaction. Yeah.
So yeah, no, I didn't know you could ride that a second
Oh.
time.
Wait,
Ah,
you didn't plat it?
No, I did not. Was
how
not able to
dare
find the
you.
time. I tried.
Mm.
I did the last thing you can do, which we'll talk about later. Like
Okay,
cool.
20
Okay.
minutes before we started.
That's what I was worried about.
Yeah,
I was
no,
like,
no,
wait a
don't
minute.
worry. I knew all the
Hold
stuff.
up.
I know most of the stuff. I specifically was saving that to do at the last thing I did, but because I didn't plat it,
Mhm.
I decided to do it about 20 minutes before we started.
Okay.
But after our ride on a train, with a big crash, when Kratos gets to chop off the troll's head, it's very satisfying. I remember.
He likes doing that.
Yes, I remember when like seeing the troll and going, ugh, another one.
Yeah, like how it just
Okay.
wasn't a fight.
Yeah, and then he
They
just chops his
know.
head off. It's so good.
I laughed. I genuinely
Yeah,
laughed
me
at
too.
that moment.
Me too. But then we get to go through a cave. I don't think anything really eventful happens until we get to meet Tyr, and he's tall and kind of crazy.
He isn't initially. He is small, and then eventually he like gains confidence, and then he becomes big. Like
True.
genuinely, like
Yes.
if you go back, he is not big the whole time, and then Atreus talks to him, and then he gets big.
I assumed it was just a framing device, not literal.
I don't think so.
hey,
it might.
that's fine.
It could be either.
Giants don't make any sense, and they never even attempted to go, this is what giants do. You know, hell, the giant bird? That's a giant.
Mhm.
Don't worry about it. It's just a giant bird.
Sense. Yeah.
Why are some giants giants? Yeah, who cares?
They're
Don't
gigantic,
worry
some of
about
them.
it.
It's friggin' Atreus, just putting giants into everything. You're a giant, and you're a giant, and you're a giant.
But yeah, we rescue Tyr, and he's not gonna be of any help to us. Since he's decided he doesn't want to fight.
He is now the god of pacifism.
Like God of
That was
pacifism.
really effective for me because I was like, what? We just went through all this hard work and you're not going to be the person we expected you to be?
Yeah.
And then we
Yeah,
get,
I was also like, fine. I guess maybe eventually it'll be helpful, but
like to me that
Yeah.
made sense. Like he'd been tortured for as long as Mimir. He'd always
Oh,
been peaceful to
it
begin
did.
with.
Oh, did he? Okay.
well, like he
well-
was a diplomat, but he
Mhm.
would achieve that through war, you know.
Sometimes, like even in the first game, Mimir said in the first game that like he always tried to avoid war whenever possible.
Right.
Like he
Yeah.
used his position as the
Right.
god of war to stop wars.
Yeah.
Right.
So like it was all really within character.
Mhm.
Right. I think, yeah, I was just like, okay, cool. We're going to get another cool leader on board. And then he
Mhm.
wasn't. And I was like,
I mean, I
oh.
heard so much about him in the first
Oh.
game that I was very excited. But then we get back. Atreus is upset and has decided he must leave on his own, and we follow him.
What did you guys think of
did either of you
playing
expect-
as Atreus?
Okay, so
Yeah, let's hear
this was a really big surprise to me. Sorry.
Okay. No, me
And
too.
I didn't want to like it but I really like this gameplay. And I was like, damn, okay, no, it's fluid, it's fast, he's actually strong. He's no Kratos, of course, but yeah, no, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I
Initially, I was the same where I was like, man, you don't yell and get angry
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you go berserk. But it is kind of fun.
yeah.
Eventually, once I unlock that move that sweeps out the enemy's legs and just busts them over the head
mm,
like 6 times in a row, I
the
was
I
sold.
sword.
know!
Because it's just,
So
oh,
much
there goes your
fun.
stun meter, you're dead.
Yeah, see, I really liked his gameplay, but I streamed it, and as Shiloh was there for most of it, and as he kept reminding me, I could shoot long range, and I forgot most of the time. Like I
Oh,
almost never used his bow in combat,
a
except
big
to hit
bow and
things with.
arrow on his back.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah, it's
it's good
also
to
what he
smack
uses
things in
to
the face
attack with
with.
physically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very very good. I figured when he got the sword later, he'd start using the sword. No, he's just gonna keep hitting things with the bow.
Mhm.
Which fair, it's fun.
Hey, something needs to revive you if you die.
I like his double dash or whatever when he does a little spin dash.
I love that when you're aiming, if you like
Oh
dodge,
yeah, that's so cool.
his
The
like
slowdown.
dive. Well,
He
he
becomes
dives to
Max
the
Payne.
side like Max Payne,
Yeah.
like bullet
Bullet
time.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, so cool. I think
Yeah,
Kratos has a similar thing, but not nearly as cool. Like if you're aiming with the axe and then dodge, he has a
oh.
special animation for it, but it's not nearly as cool.
Yeah, so that's really funny. Like, I wonder what the psychology behind that is, where it's like we're reluctant to like it, but we have to admit it. Like, yeah, no, it is fun.
I think they knew that when they made it too, like I
Yeah.
have to imagine when they decide to put that in, they know people are like, we signed up to play as Kratos. I figured they might make us play as Atreus, but
Okay.
uh I wasn't
I
looking
thought it was a
forward to it.
possibility,
Yeah.
but like I was doubting it because Kratos had
Yeah.
so much on his
Mhm.
kid already, and I was still going there. We're gonna get I like the entire game up to getting it. I was like, we're either gonna get Mjolnir or we're getting a spear. Uh,
What did you think, Spear?
Oh, you cool. Yeah.
Gungnir.
Oh,
Odin's
Gungnir.
spear. Gungnir. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the name of Odin's spear is Gungnir.
Hmm.
Ah, sick.
I was like,
Yeah.
so
Those are probably the two
the
most
two
iconic like
iconic
Norse mythology
weapons.
weapons.
That and Freyr's
Yeah,
sword. Uh,
I didn't know about Freyr's sword. I knew about
mhm.
Gungnir and
Which I figure
Mjolnir.
we wouldn't get a sword. That's boring. Nah.
Yeah. He already had that in Greece. He used it
Mhm.
to kill Zeus.
Right. I know all these names from like, you know, previous movies and media
Mhm.
and Final Fantasies, but I didn't know that they were all Norse. It's cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um. Well, yeah. We get to play as Atreus. He gets to go see Jormungandr, who's just kind of laying in the lake, sleeping.
He's just chilling, waiting
Yeah.
for someone to call for him.
And they don't
Oh,
get
you
any.
called?
They don't get anything. So Sindri is trying to convince him not to go see Freya, and lets him know where Freya is in the process.
Hey,
Did you
hasn't
guys
Freya
throw
been
the
trying to
snowball?
kill you for 3 years?
What,
Yeah.
I did. I did.
what was the question?
Wait, didn't I? Did you throw the snowball?
Yes,
I
of
think I
course, of
did.
course.
I know,
Not
totally.
even a
I
question.
I am I want to meet the person who withheld and didn't. I want to know what happens.
I'm never gonna find out while playing.
No.
Turns
Actually,
out you get an alternate ending and no one has found out yet.
Yeah, exactly. That one snowball. That'd
Snowball
be excellent.
effect.
That'd be so metaphorical if it was true.
I actually, again, I'm stealing the other podcast content. The director said in that interview, that I want you to guess what was the thing that made them go, this is how much time Atreus is gonna get, this is how much time Kratos is gonna get. Like I'm curious what you would assume before telling you,
I would guess
like
Last
how
of
they
Us.
split it. Oh, okay, interesting.
Wait, what does Last of Us mean?
Well, just meaning like playing as like two different characters, like
Oh,
different gameplay
yes.
sections for the same game.
Yeah, I played those games, so I know what you're talking about. I have no guess. I don't know what they could have based it on.
Well, they said we should play. When they decided you're gonna play as Atreus, they decided 25% Atreus, 75% Kratos.
Yeah, I mean that's fair too. Like that was a really good split. I didn't get
Yeah.
sick of Atreus because it
Yeah,
was like a mission at a time
I feel like it was the
and
perfect
then
amount.
back.
If for instance,
If there were two in a row, I'd have been like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
come
exactly.
on.
If you had had an open
Yeah.
world segment or something like that, I wouldn't have liked it. But it was the perfect amount for me.
Hmm. In
I
fact,
agree.
one of my favorite areas was an Atreus thing, which we'll probably talk about in a bit. But uh, yeah,
Oh yeah, he goes to see Freya. It doesn't go the best. Could have gone worse. He did bring
he
her
Oh,
son's
lived.
murder
the
weapon.
self-talk, the self-talk up to that point
Oh, it was
was
so
so
good.
funny. I laughed so much.
That was so good. You're right. I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. Oh my
this
god.
So good.
this is just the thing that killed your son. I wear it as a lucky charm.
Uh,
There's so many like you were saying earlier, like the moments of like where you would say something and then a character would say it.
mhm.
Atreus kind of embodied that in that moment of like, man, this is
What am
a
I gonna say?
stupid idea. What am I
Yeah,
gonna say? What am I gonna do? Like,
yeah,
you
totally.
know, the step before you do the thing, you're like, oh, why am I here?
I think it was like one of the things. He was like, "What will I do? What will Dad do if I don't come back?"
Oh, Dad's gonna kill a whole nother pantheon. Round two.
But when he gets back, we get to head off to Alfheim again. Get our visit back.
Ugh,
Not a fan of Alfheim.
What's that
gross.
sound? Really?
Elfheim Temple of Light area is always the worst. I hate fighting elves.
I like it. They're
Mm,
cool.
Elfheim as an
We gotta
area is
fight light
cool.
elves this
Elves
time mostly.
suck.
elves are tough.
Yeah.
Our
I did
killing
enjoy
of
the.
oh, you go.
I was just gonna say I did enjoy the ricocheting the axe thing.
I hated that. I
That was
hated
fun.
it so much. It's the worst puzzle in the
That
game.
Really?
that was okay. It depended there were moments where it was really good and some where it was a little frustrating. Uh, I
Mm.
think my favorite part of Elfheim was the tier like what is he doing? What are you doing? Get over here. Like, hey,
He really
we
likes
need to go this
treasures.
way. Yeah, he likes looting things.
Yes. So good. So good.
Just loves
Like
loot.
Mimir
Kratos.
and Atreus just being like, this is just how he is,
You'll
man.
get used to it. Yeah.
It made me a little sad when later on we team up with Freya and she didn't have a similar reaction to us just going
Right.
off and
I
doing
mean,
our own
she's been
thing
following Kratos for 3
she's
years.
specifically pissed off at us
Mm.
and you know, we're there to help her do a particular thing for her.
Fair.
Actually, that would have been pretty good if she would just be like, "Ugh, what are you doing right now?"
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Like, come on, bro. I'm giving you a shot here.
Yeah.
But after, honestly, not too much happens in Alfheim
No.
of events. Like there's lots of little plot threads and character developments, but overall, I don't think. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about with Alfheim?
Uh, I mean, there's the open world area after that. That's pretty cool. We talked about
Yeah.
the jellyfish thing already, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The
It was
open
good.
world area is the coolest part to me.
That's fair.
Yeah, like Mimir telling his stories again. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I did like with Alfheim scene. Like I knew the second we killed that like leader dark elf in the first game that we were going to see come back here and see the consequences of that at some point. And so
Yeah.
I was very happy to see that, and it worked really well. I think.
Yeah.
Well, I did like Atreus questioning that, and then Mimir and
Hmm.
Kratos trying to like talk him through. You know, these are consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Those were
Yeah.
actions. They
Oh,
go together.
Yep. Don't think about it. It happened. We are
Yeah.
here now. You can't go back and change it. No use worrying about it.
Hmm.
They're basically just like, hey, welcome to the God of War, rite of passage.
Yeah, hey bro, welcome to the club. Killed any pantheons yet?
Yeah, yeah.
But after that, we get to go to the second Atreus uh, venue in Jotunheim.
Oh, best area. So cool.
I'm actually surprised. Like, I liked it a lot, but it seems to be the least liked area from general opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Wow.
mean, for me personally, like I'm not really into like romance or like cheesy, the corny stuff. So it did feel like it dragged on a little bit. I did
Mhm.
think it was cute, but I was like, I could have done with maybe half of that. I don't know. But then, we got to the part where it got more serious and I was like, okay, no, this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
much more deeper than just, maybe teenage romance or,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
So, no, I didn't hate it.
mhm.
No,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I definitely
yeah.
think how I didn't like how long it was at first, but in retrospect, I like and think it was very necessary to have Angrboda have a good character arc there
Yeah.
because outside of there, she only appears in one scene here, then one scene a few hours later, and one
Yeah.
scene a few hours later. So most of
Yeah.
her development has to happen here, and I think it worked really well.
Yeah.
I ended up really
Totally
liking her
understandable.
character.
Yeah.
I think I took a break in between, either in between playing or something. Like, so it's a long area, but I think I had that split up into two play sessions, so it didn't feel as dragged out for
Mm.
me. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. I just like the environment, the general
Oh
like,
yeah, it's
Oh
beautiful.
yeah,
you
it
know,
looks
the
incredible.
chit chat and stuff of like, oh, you
Yeah.
can press everything. He has a line to say about everything. Uh, and it felt like the first time where Atreus kind of had like uh
Someone his same
more,
age as him.
well, that for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah. Yeah, and also just to be able to like explore a bit and
yeah, like
like the Midgard area didn't really feel like him exploring, you know. It felt like going on a straight path to Freya, at
Right.
least to me.
Mm-hmm.
But
No, yeah, yeah.
this felt like, oh, look at this. We're in Jotunheim. you know, I
Yeah.
found a giant,
yeah, the list of
and then
people
I'll just stick
Atreus.
this soul. Name
Oh
a giant
yeah,
you don't
oh
like.
yeah,
I'll stick its soul in this snake.
yeah. Oh what a coinky dink. Haha. Um, so this is the part. So did you figure it out the second he put the snake in?
Nope.
Okay. Well,
No, not at all. It wasn't until like really later on she was like, "Yeah, the snake's growing." I was like, "Big snake?"
no,
Oh,
I like.
Even at that point, I was like, well, yeah, it's a giant.
right.
Only at the time travel thing was I like, oh,
Mhm. Jormungandr
But I
yeah,
just
still
I
don't
guess it's
understand how it all works.
Jormungandr.
How
Well, I
does
I don't know.
okay. So Jormungandr in the first game was just like the most fascinating part of the lore to me, because we knew what happened to him basically and why he was around, and like the answer
Okay.
being, like I thought there would be some other thing because it's left ambiguous as to what actually brought him back here, like
Hmm.
back to now. But no, it's actually literally Thor just hit it so hard it went back in time. That's just the actual literal reason.
Oh, during the like final fight there.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's
so
why that's why he
Oh,
can you
disappeared.
okay.
give me like how are you? Sorry.
Yellow, yes.
Uh, actually, sorry, Carrie, continue. Someone's at my door. Sorry.
Oh, no problem.
No,
We'll
no
take a break.
worries.
We'll take a break. Hello, and we're back to you with your regularly scheduled programming after that short break. That for you was half a second. And you wouldn't have noticed if I had edited it right, but who cares? What were we talking about?
uh, Jotunheim, and I think we were
Jotunheim.
sort of ending it. But anything to talk about with like the boss fight there with
The
Gryla?
giant was really cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you guys think of that boss fight? Like,
It was great.
yeah.
I think it was fine. I think fighting with Angrboda is actually really fun.
Mm.
Yeah,
All the
her just
colors and
throwing
things.
colors and stuff was
Yeah,
really
Yeah.
cool. Like, I
yeah,
think she was my
Yeah.
favorite companion for Atreus. Just
Uh,
as far as like
yeah.
fighting
Probably.
I'd
with him.
agree.
Yeah.
I mean, the sword was more useful,
Hmm.
but like
Hmm.
the style of just throwing colors
It was fun.
was
Yeah.
really cool and
Very
fun.
unique. Yeah, I like that whole segment. The best part of the segment, I think, was the running as the wolf segment.
That was
Oh
fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like that, and the
And also
music
just
there
her
was so
teaching him
good.
to like control his powers and
Hmm.
stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Then eventually to Chris being like, "Don't be using that power that Odin taught you to control, boy."
Yeah,
You know? It's
I
like,
liked.
well, relax. It wasn't Odin, it was my giant friend I can't tell you about.
Yeah, I really
Yeah,
liked
yeah,
that he
yeah, yeah.
saw the like prophecy of Kratos there.
Hmm.
Like I was worried
Yeah.
that would go for way too long of Atreus not knowing. But then you have both of them trying to protect the other from the prophecy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think about that as a plot point? It felt, I don't know. It
I
worked.
it's
I feel like in a lot of things it wouldn't.
I think just
Uh,
prophecy in general is a very important or prophecy and the misunderstanding of or lack of actual evidence of them being real is so important to Norse mythology. Like every single thing with Ragnarok that happens in the mythology happens because Odin is scared of it happening. Like he ties up Fenrir in mythology, he ties up Fenrir, and like with the strongest of all silk or whatever, and like nothing can ever break out of it. And if he hadn't tied him up, he would have been perfectly friendly. Like he explicitly
Right.
Fenrir explicitly says because he can talk in mythology,
Oh,
yes.
um
cool.
that he would just live and let live. He didn't care that much about Odin either way.
Yeah. Hey, bro, I don't care about you. Who cares about Ragnarok?
Hmm.
In the original story, they kept tying him up with stronger and stronger things because he was the strongest in all the land, and Odin was scared of him. And
Right.
uh, and the last one, it was like, yes, these tiny silk ribbons, not the great Fenrir couldn't break out of it. And Fenrir's like, this is a trap. This is a trap. Why would I do this? It's like because I mean if you're a tiny baby and not the coolest in the land, Fenrir. Eventually, he gave in under the uh like what I don't know deal that Tyr would leave his arm in Fenrir's mouth,
Oh, yeah, right.
and that's
That
how.
is, they mentioned that in
Yeah, so
what's it
something
called?
happened similar
In
with his
God of War
arm.
Ragnarok.
Yeah, where like in
Uh,
the story he leaves the arm in the mouth.
yeah. How does he
And
have his arm back? By the
oh, he
way,
grows back.
like
Even in North mythology, he just grows it back.
it does.
Yes,
I think
Wow.
he
I
did
mean,
mention that too.
yeah, they did. I just didn't understand how he was that strong to where he could just grow an arm back.
I mean like I think theoretically any of the gods could do it.
I
Like it's just a
guess,
thing that
yeah.
eventually Kratos heals. So
Kratos is
eventually,
Kratos. He tried to kill himself and couldn't die.
that's fair. But eventually, an arm will grow back. Give it give or take a couple hundred years.
Huh.
Oh
Anyway,
yes, yeah. When he gets back, where then
he's he goes
yeah
home.
he goes
He's trying
home.
to go
Very
home
important.
to the realm between realms is where he's trying to go,
Yes.
And then
That
and
moment
Kratos,
was
ends
really
up
good.
home
hmm
in Midgard.
Yeah.
and then he
When it
tries to go
happened, I
through
was
the
like, of
gate.
course.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorite shots is the scene
you
of
got a
like
genie wish.
Kratos just
Mm.
walking right out of the gate, like
I knew it was gonna happen too.
implying
Yeah,
that Kratos was probably standing in that like hallway waiting for a door to spawn.
they said that.
Like yeah, like
He said that he was
mhm,
waiting in the what's it called?
realm
Like he
between.
was waiting in the world tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a good dad.
Well, like
Well,
that
yeah.
look of just how angry he is right there.
Yeah.
But hey, we're being attacked by some Draugr. We get to play as Kratos again. It's so nice. Oh no, it's a Valkyrie.
Who is
That
this
was
fellow? We
so,
dealt with all of those.
yeah, that was so epic. When it happened, I was like,
hmm
what Wait, who?
What do you
Like,
mean? What do you
wait.
mean? I just got back control. I don't remember how all the buttons work. It's been 8 hours.
Did you guys figure it was
I
Freya
did not.
or
No,
no?
No,
No.
because I remember the
no.
shot of later on in the trailer, like one of the, I think the farthest to the back of the game shot they have is of the two Valkyries, jumping at you, like
What do
very
you mean?
very
Like
close to
in
the end
a
of the
trailer
game.
or something?
Yeah, in the trailer. Like
Oh, okay.
other than that, I don't think there's any shot past the Alfheim trip in the entire thing. Maybe one or two, but 99% of the trailer is
I mean, that Valkyrie shot is really late.
Jotunheim, pretty much.
Yeah, that Valkyrie
Other
shot
than
is
the
That is
almost
Valkyries.
late
super
in the
late.
game.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, so that was the one.
Yeah.
Everything else though was super
I wish
early on.
I wish I didn't watch the trailer.
I didn't.
I wish I just trusted myself and said, I am gonna play this game. I don't need to watch a trailer because I watched it with like other people at the same time, and then I was like,
Oh,
damn, I just spoiled myself for so many cool moments.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was either going either way because like I knew I'd have just given eventually. I'd probably
Yeah,
given
I just
halfway
had
through
a
the
feeling
game
I
if
was
I hadn't
like,
watched it.
I just knew I was like, I don't care about this game right now. I will care about this game when it releases. I'm not
Yeah.
watching it.
I
Yeah.
wish I could be you.
Next time when I'm with other people and they're like, "Hey, do you want to watch the thing?" I'll be like, "No, I'm gonna be
I say that
confident in
every time.
my."
You say that, but you're the one who's the
I'm the
person
one who's like,
asking.
we
You're
gotta
the
watch the
suggestor.
trailer. We gotta
Yeah.
do it.
You're the one asking.
What? After we've been attacked, and almost defeated, and Atreus turned into a bear, again.
He's like, no, Freya is a friend. Friend, not food. And
Yeah,
we
I
calm him
really
down.
really liked the delivery of, like when he's calming him down.
It
Like,
is really
she
good.
was our friend.
That was very nice. Yeah,
Like
that was very nice movement.
Christopher
Yeah.
Judge is so good. But
Did you?
you
Were you guys? Sorry.
No,
Were you
you go.
guys intimidated by the Valkyrie fight, or
uh
it was fine?
it was
No,
fun.
I knew
Like,
it was a main story Valkyrie
yeah, it
fight,
was a
so I'd be
story.
able to
Mhm.
do
It
it.
was mandatory. Either there were
Right.
two options. Either it was a story Valkyrie and it'd be fine, or this is the most
bad game.
ambitious AAA game ever made. Either way, I
Yeah.
was fine.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Which it's probably still is the most ambitious AAA game ever made, but still. But then we go off with Freya, send Atreus to his bedroom to think about what he's done. And we gotta go to Vanaheim. First time.
With our good pal
With
Freya.
our good
Our
pal
best
Freya.
friend.
Yeah, she loves us.
Well, our
Loves us.
favorite.
Yeah.
Where some of my favorite dialogue in the whole game is.
Yeah, she's a bird now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot she's a bird.
Oh
She's a bird.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
She's bound to Midgard, but somehow manages to get to Vanaheim. I forget the plot reason why.
Well,
But-
she's bound to Midheart, but she because of Fimbulwinter, all of
Oh,
the spells are
that's why.
fading that were on
Yeah.
her, and this is the
Mhm.
only one that isn't there. But she had to turn into a bird to make it so that she could stay.
Right, so she could get to Vanaheim, but
hmm
she couldn't be there in full power and all that.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to help her out. We got to go meet her brother and his gang of 5 people, who are the Resistance, and seemingly
Hey,
all that's left of this
4
entire
of them
realm.
had personalities, and one of them existed.
You had a cool sword.
The traveler guy was there and didn't talk to me or acknowledge I existed ever. Everyone else was cool. I like the rest of the
Yeah.
crew.
Oh yeah, no, the travel guy. I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool. I was like, hey, we fought. We maybe had a fight back in the day. Hey.
Hey, I killed your friends.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know why, but Freya's brother, Freyr, really caught me off guard. Like his like face looked really like a celebrity, and his
Yes.
behavior. I was like, why did they do that? I guess
Do you
it
know
was
who he
intentional,
is?
right? No, who was he?
His actor's name is Brett Dalton. I doubt you have you seen Agents of Shield? I doubt it.
I have actually.
Okay, he's in
Which
that.
one's he?
Ward.
Okay,
So
that does sound familiar. I'm looking it up right now.
he's Ward in Agents of Shield. He's also Mike in Until Dawn. Are his two biggest roles.
Ooh, yes.
Hmm.
Okay, yeah, that makes so much sense now. Okay, my brain was right. I
You
was
did
like,
recognize
what?
him.
Yeah. Okay.
I was like, I
Now I
know this
understand.
guy. I know this guy. It's the Brett Dalton. I love him.
Oh, that's so good.
He's so good in both
One of
those
my
shows. Both
favorite
those things.
lines, it comes a bit later, but with with Freyr is between him and Atreus. And Atreus having learned from Kratos some of Greek culture and terminology, he's like, having heard from my dad, I think you would have been a muse. I think if you were in Greece, you would have been a muse. And he's like, what's a muse?
Ah,
So he explains to Freyr what a muse is.
Who is
He's
high
like,
on his
but
medicine.
they were usually he was high from Frey's meds. He's like, but they were usually women. He's like, well, that's stupid. I could have been a muse. And Tristan's like, yeah, no, I think you would have been a good muse. You did everything that they would have done anyway. It was a really funny conversation, and I was like, yeah, no, he is kind of, he's the bard of the cast. He would
yeah,
absolutely be like a muse.
Yeah,
yeah, totally.
he was a fun character. I think he easily could have come in, and I could have not cared about him at all. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I
he had
didn't
that
initially.
charisma. No, not at first, but
Yeah,
over
same. Yeah,
time,
same.
like he
Mm-hmm.
He grew.
he give us a boat later. Give us a boat,
Here is a paper boat. You will use it once.
Let's go.
and then never again,
Right?
ever. Forget you have it. Uh, but but yeah, then we go off from the camp with just Freya, leaving Mimir behind for the first time since we picked him up. I think. No wait, no, he wasn't in the
no,
intro.
at the very
That's
start of
right,
the
he
game,
wasn't
he
in
was
the very
writing.
start. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. But yeah, that's the dialogue there is some of the best. I love their conversations. Just
Yeah,
the
that was
line
really
of
good
like, you
mission.
think you could possibly understand what it's like to lose a child?
It's like,
Yeah.
yes.
Mhm. He's like, oh.
I killed mine.
And then they bring up Demos from the PSP game.
Thank God you told me about him before,
Yeah,
because I didn't know about him.
Me and Lucian were sitting there like 2 nights before the game came out watching Watch Mojo top 10 list about God of War.
How can we waste
were
time?
bored.
What is the YouTube
Yeah.
equivalent of the Kardashians?
Oh,
Watch
no.
Mojo.
Watch Mojo.
Yes.
Perfect.
And they brought up Demos in one of the videos, and Lucian was like, "Who's that guy? Never heard of him. It's just Kratos' brother who he had to kill. From the PSP game, or one of them.
Just figured we wouldn't leave that in the main titles, but would in the main 3 games, but would then reference it.
Well, as we've learned from a certain post-game conversation, everything that Kratos has been in is canon. Everything. So, okay.
Wait, I did see this on Twitter. I think I know what you're going to talk about.
It's the
Yeah.
PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
I caught that
Canon.
as I was playing.
I did
He
not.
has some line about like, I think Mimir is asking him like, brother, I hear you fought in a tournament against, the world's greatest musician and a princess, and I forget the other like titles.
Or like a cyborg and like demon hunter or something.
Cyborg, yeah. And Chris is like, I don't want to talk about it. Let us not speak of this.
Good.
I was like, oh
I
my
didn't-
God. I had to think, I was like, hold on. I'm thinking back. That wasn't in the games. Oh my God, that's PlayStation All-Stars. Oh my God. Why are they referencing PlayStation All Stars?
What's PlayStation All Stars?
Oh
So
no!
it's Smash, but awful trash garbage for Sony.
Oh,
It came out
Yeah.
gotcha.
like on
Imagine
the
Smash, but you can only
PS3.
kill people with a super.
Oh,
There's no knocking people off the stage or health bar. You need to charge up your super all the way
In
to kill them.
2012. Uh,
It's so
damn.
bad.
with a Metacritic of like 60. It was
Yeah.
very bad. Starring the PlayStation All Stars, such as you had Kratos was the guy on the front of the box, like he was the most prominent. You had
Right.
Nathan Drake, the
Right.
Big Daddy from BioShock, Sackboy,
Oh,
Sly Cooper, Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, and then Fat Princess.
Who is the princess referenced in the line?
Yes, hit character who
Uh-huh.
I definitely heard of it before. Outside
No,
of the
neither.
game, you had Raiden from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
The cyborg mentioned in the line.
Mhm. Cole
Ah.
from Infamous. And then you just had a couple randoms. You had the Dante from the DMC
You
reboot.
forgot the greatest singer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
the best
greatest musician of all
historic-
time.
Yeah,
Do you know who the
yeah.
greatest musician of all time is?
I do know because of Twitter, but yes, tell
Oh,
everyone.
okay. It's Parappa the Rapper.
Yeah. I was like, there's no way. They
Yeah.
really did that? That is so funny.
Ugh.
Funny, because
But
I
yes.
knew it was a PlayStation All Stars reference, but I was asking Hagar, I was like, who are the people they're referencing in that? Because like I can tell it's a reference because I don't know who they would have fought in the games, but I have
Yeah.
no idea the other characters because it was such a bad game, no one touched it. And it's not like
Yeah.
they made references to, I mean, the princess character. I mean, that was probably to make it clear that it's
Mhm.
someone outside of, God of War. But anyway,
Right.
Yes, now
that
I'll
was
just
a
be on replays. I'll be looking for the Shovel Knight reference that everyone's missed. But back to the actual game and not some terrible game from 2012. Where were we?
Nidhogg.
Oh yeah, Nidhogg.
We're about to get there.
We're
So,
about to get to Nidhogg. That was top 3 boss fights for me.
what do you think of that one, Whale?
Yeah, I thought that was a really good boss fight. I really didn't want to kill her.
Thank
Yeah.
you. The whole time during that fight, I was like, "Stop it! I don't want
Yeah.
to do this. What are you?
Yeah.
No." Like I was doing the boss fight, but I couldn't appreciate it for the boss fight because I was just
Yeah.
yelling at Kratos to knock it off.
I was doing the exact same. I was like, no, I don't want to do this.
Hmm.
I just looked at your babies. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I was like, she's innocent. She's
Yeah.
just doing her thing. Just fly by and go destroy the tree, and she'll go back.
Yeah.
We dragged her out to kill her.
Like I get it of like, she was going to come after us for forever, basically.
Yeah.
Would
Yeah.
she?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
Really?
Freya said.
Mhm.
Oh wow. Okay. I guess I didn't get that part.
Like it was just in her nature to. She has to, take care of the tree, and you're a threat. If you destroy a part of it, then you're a threat forever.
Oh. Okay. All right.
But at least it would, maybe if we didn't have our base in the tree, we could have worked around it. But I don't know.
That the side thing, but Ratatosker. What do you guys think of Ratatosker?
I loved him.
Oh, he was fun. And then I saw who his voice was, and I was
Mhm.
like, oh.
Yeah, I saw like
Yeah.
right before the game came out. I was like, oh, he got to not only be in it but help write some of his lines. Like,
That's so
yeah,
sick.
perfect casting. He's great.
Yeah. Especially it makes a lot of sense based off of like the personality they're going for with like, oh, you have Ratatosker, and then you have 4 other like specific personality
Yeah, I was a
versions
big
of
fan of
Ratatosker.
personalities.
Yeah, I love was it Anxious Ratatosker who like learns from Kratos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
That
What
was
is that?
so
The
good.
Stag Quest or something? I forget what quest that
Mhm.
was, but
Yeah, it was.
Oh.
where
I
he
Yep.
he learns to just not care.
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
care
my
about
not
you.
friend.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
care about you anyway. Love you.
Yeah.
Hey, I love you. Bye.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Well, I wanted to go back to right before you meet or you get to Nidhogg. There's a scene where Freya just is like, oh, like Kratos, kill them or whatever, like kill him,
Oh, that
the
was really
guy. And
good.
I like my favorite lines in the game are right after that when he's like, never tell me to kill again. Like he was,
I will not be your
Mm.
monster.
yeah, I will not be your monster. And then
Mm.
the right after of her saying you owe, like you don't get to say that, not with how much you owe, like the debt you owe me. And he's
Mhm.
like his line of I'm forgetting it exactly, but like I'm not here for debts. I would always have helped you. Like that's probably my
Yeah.
favorite line in the game. His delivery of that is just
Oh,
so good.
yeah.
That whole like sequence, it needed to be handled well
Uh huh.
in order for the rest of the game to work.
Yeah, in order to get
True.
Freya
Yeah.
to not only want to, be okay with Kratos being there, but like actively be okay with him at all times. And
Right.
like
Yeah.
somehow they made it work in just one level.
Yeah.
Oh, just so well executed. I think
Well,
because it was really raw, like they were just saying
Mhm.
how they felt all the time.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
killed my son, like it was just all out. Yeah.
And it this couldn't have happened in any earlier game because Kratos has never been so like vocal and open with his emotions.
Mm.
Where like he wouldn't have told her about his past experiences with like losing his daughter.
Never.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't talk about that, or he didn't talk about that.
Yeah. He
He's
was.
more open to it now,
Yeah.
but it's something he just shut off and turned off a part of his like brain and heart and locked it away. But he's slowly started to open up to the world, um, and
Yeah,
allowed
I
people in.
I liked Kratos in 2018, but a lot of it was he was kind of just still the same guy for most of it as he was in the other games, just
Mm-hmm.
without something to be angry
Which
at.
was important.
Yeah, of course.
Like you needed
Right.
that. Otherwise, it's like, who's this guy?
Like by the end, he decides he wants to be better, or at least try
Yeah.
to be better, and like actually seeing that in Ragnarok is why I love him so much in this game.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. True. I think even with how you were saying, like there was information he offered up that he wouldn't have done before. He also did it in a way that Freya came to him first and was like, yeah, like how you were saying before, you can't possibly know what it's like to lose a child. And he's like, well, actually, yes, I do. And it was really bad circumstances. But he's not trying to say it in a like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I've had it worse than you kind of thing. He's just
Yeah.
saying,
He's
you
not
know,
like comparing,
no,
well, my
exactly.
dead kid, I choked my dead kid to death.
Yeah, like
Exactly,
the way he
exactly.
says it is like, I know Baldur's story. You deserve to know
Mhm.
my daughters.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, it's just so good.
Mm-hmm. I just love
And
that
then,
section so much.
And the resolution
yeah.
to it, like post Nidhogg, was,
Mm,
Mm.
I think maybe the strongest emotional response I had in the game. It
yeah?
didn't get me
Okay.
crying, but like, I think that was the maybe one of the best scenes for me. Uh,
It
for sure.
totally is.
Yeah, that was
It
definitely
totally
up
is,
there.
yeah.
Like, just him saying, I will not take away the. I was. I would have done that again. If the
Yeah,
choice was in front of me today, I would
Mm-hmm.
do it again. But that being said, I was still in the wrong to take the choice of life or death out of your hands. So
Mm-hmm.
he's saying, like, I recognize a mistake on my part, but that being said,
I'd do it
I would
again.
still do it
Yeah.
again.
He'd do it again, yeah.
You
Yeah,
know, so
no,
he's being
totally.
honest
Yeah.
and he's recognizing like the mistake on his part, and I don't know, it's done so well,
I think
and then it's
just the
followed up on well.
admission, I
Yeah,
think just the admission too is just so powerful for, Freya to go, okay, he knows he was wrong and he knows, and then she can say, he will do it again. But, and then he says something like, he wouldn't take that choice out of her hands again or something like that. I can't remember how he
right.
says it.
Mhm.
But yeah.
I think it was wrong to take the choice of life or death out of your hands,
Right.
something like that. But
Mm.
yeah, that whole thing is really good, and we get a good resolution for now with Freya and Freyr.
Well, and Freya and Kratos still with her being like, I'll put my stuff to the side with you.
Mhm.
I am killing Odin.
Yeah, got a
Yeah.
new target.
I'm putting to the side for now. I have not forgiven you.
Yeah, and she says
But
that she'll always be angry about that too. Like,
Oh yeah.
it just
Mhm.
is. Yeah.
Right, like that's just always going to be a part of her, but she's just really pissed at Odin and is able to
Yeah.
recognize like, well, what led to the situation where he did that.
Mhm.
If
Mhm.
if anyone in the entire universe can understand, like, the death of your child sticking with you, it's Kratos.
And a
Right.
god
He
being
gets
the
it.
reason for it happening.
Yes.
Mm.
I was surprised they didn't bring it up, but like, did you ever? You had. I'm sure someone must have explained to you why Kratos is looks like he does.
I guess they never
They
did
never did explain that
address
in the
that.
Norse
Huh.
games.
No.
No. Okay.
But no. Yeah.
Um. So he's. I forget. Lucian, you explain. You played the games. Do
Let
you
me just.
remember the exact detail? I don't remember who did it to him.
Basically, I believe I forget the exact details, but essentially he's like ashen white because he's covered with the ashes of his daughter and wife.
Yeah.
Right.
The
So he's had two wives?
yes.
Yeah, the
Okay, yep. Just double
Calliope's
checking.
mom. Yeah, back
Mhm.
who he killed.
Okay.
He killed both Calliope and her
Yep.
mom.
Yep.
Um,
I will say, and I was thinking of this before. He was not necessarily too caught up on their deaths in the Greek games anyway, because there were
Okay.
multiple,
well, he was all about
uh,
the like being angry with it. Plus, it had been years, right, by the time the first
Okay.
game starts.
maybe, yeah.
I had been playing
I thought
myself,
you
so
were
I
gonna
watched
say
recaps.
that he was a ladies' man and he had
Oh, he
lots of
He
wives and
was.
is.
lots of children.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well then,
Yeah.
okay.
No,
It
he
was
goes
in fact
around and
a
has,
game from the PS2
uh,
era.
yeah, he has relations quite a bit.
Gotcha.
Mini games, even.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah. Not
Uh-huh.
sure I will play those games then.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. But yeah, so the reason Kratos has ash white skin is because he is wearing the ashes of his dead daughter and wife on him at all
Damn.
times.
Yeah. Okay.
Kratos was
It's
actually
not
always
like a
imagined as like
choice, I don't think.
a
I think
darker
it's
skinned
a.
character.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
he's Greek, so.
Yeah.
Right. Mhm.
Uh.
Oh, and so the ash is like stuck to him, you're
Yeah.
saying?
hmm
Yes, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I was very surprised they didn't mention that a single time. Like in the whole. Yes, you deserve to know my daughter's story. This is her right here. You can see her right here on my skin.
Yeah. No, there's no
But
mention of that.
no. I was hoping. Also, another thing I debated our friend Shiloh about multiple times. I'm assuming
Oh.
Kratos told Atreus off screen everything. Is that is that assumed by you two?
Like,
Like he told
I've,
about
like,
Calliope and his old
everything.
wife. Most stuff, at least
Don't know
anything
about
about Calliope.
everything. I think he's told him more about his past. I don't think he would have necessarily talked about, like, his previous, you know.
Wasn't he covering up that they were gods?
In the first game.
Well, yeah, but, yeah,
Oh,
he
so you mean in
was.
between then?
Like in
Yeah, I
the
think he
He
means
3-year
told
like
time
him
skip. I
everything?
in the
mean,
3 years since. So like during Fimbulwinter.
like if he's gonna tell
Uh,
Freya, I would assume it's like, or I would assume it's safe to assume that he told at least most stuff that Atreus knows about Calliope and his old wife.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think if it had like a lesson behind it, that he
Yeah,
probably did tell him.
that's fair. I don't think he would just mention it to mention it. He
Yeah.
doesn't just bring stuff up out of nowhere. If it was relevant to something going on, he'd
Mm.
be, depending on when it happened, he may mention it. But yeah.
I guess we will never know. Unless it
He's
becomes
like,
a
I
plot
had.
point in the next game of, oh, you were still keeping secrets from me, Dad? Again?
And real quick, as for why his skin is white, a village oracle cursed Kratos and condemned him to wear the mark of his terrible deed, the ashes of his family, which turned his skin pale white, earning him the title Ghost of Sparta.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Another plot
So
point they never like explicitly say in the game, they hint at it, is that the Blades of Chaos, he has tried to throw them away multiple times, like he's thrown them to the bottom of the ocean multiple times, they always magically appear near him when he wakes
Uh,
up the next day.
I
get out of here.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
I don't think they explicitly said that, but I somehow had got the vibe. Like I
They
think he
did
said
they
he's
did
trying to
hint
put
at
them
it in
behind
this
him.
one.
Yeah,
Like that he can't
yeah.
get
I think
rid of
even in
them.
one they hint
I
at
think
it,
Atreus
where
asked
like he
why.
digs them up.
Yeah, Atreus asks
Mhm.
why doesn't he just get rid of them, because Atreus sees the way he looks at the blades some days,
Yes,
and
yes.
he
You're right.
says like, it's a sword. There's some blades. They're useful.
Oh,
But
they're a tool,
and I've
he
tried,
says.
and I've tried before.
Yeah.
They
He's
came
like,
back.
they're a tool, they have a purpose. Also, I've tried.
Yeah, I tried that.
Yeah.
I
Lesson,
like,
dad stuff. Anyway, I've tried.
yeah, I like the theme that they play every time they bring them out. I'm like, oh yeah,
Hmm.
there's the epic, like I imagine earlier game sounds.
No, I don't think so. I don't
Oh,
think there's any references to the first game trilogy soundtrack. Would I be wrong?
Uh, I don't know. I will say, like, this is way, way later, like, story-wise, but the one moment, like, music-wise, where I was like, oh, this is God of War,
you talk about in the tent.
was, was, like, the very final battle. I was like, oh, this is, like,
Hmm.
you know, God of War music,
Yeah.
God of War. This is that is the closest thing to like an original God of War like
Yeah.
level design where it's like you're
Okay.
walking straight through a linear level and killing everything you come across.
But yeah, just in general, shout out to Bear McCreary, the incredible composer. Like, I don't know how this
Yes.
one was even better than the last one. Ugh, it's so good.
Just
I hope they
amazing.
bring him back for an inevitable sequel, because I could see them easily not if they wanted to do something different. But I also think he could do something different if they wanted him
You don't
to.
think they'll just make it like a trilogy?
Oh no, this is the last Norse game. They said that
What?
like 2 or 3 years ago.
No! What?
This is it. This is the last one.
The ending feels like this. Oh my god.
It does.
Okay.
It
It's
does
gone.
feel. I
Now
could see them
it's
doing like a Miles Morales type thing with
well, I like
with Atreus and
yeah.
Angrboda,
We'll definitely get to. I don't
where
think
it's
they're like there's a
I
cast
don't think
now.
they will,
They're not
but
going
there's
to
a
leave
possibility
behind
to.
the cast. Like we're still. I would assume we're still gonna have Atreus and Freya and Mimir and Sindri. Like there's no way we drop those characters. But I think we're
Uh-huh.
done being set entirely here.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 No. Yeah. I'm with you. I
Like
see
they
what
were
you mean.
very open about what they meant, but like of being like this is the last.
This.
This is they
Yeah.
did all the stuff they wanted to do with the mythology, basically.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. But there'll be more. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you.
Possibly. Who knows?
I
Hopefully,
think so.
Come
I'm
on.
surely
it'll
with all
just
this
take a
money.
while.
Yeah, it'd just be insane if they didn't. But where were we? After they leave Vanaheim, we get
Wait. Is this? Wait. Have we talked about? Or am I skipping past the part where he's like running? No. Yeah. We've totally gone over that
Oh.
part. But he like runs through the jungle holding Freyr. Is it?
oh that's way later. That's
Okay. My bad. Oops.
on the second trip. But after we get back from
Oh yeah.
Vanaheim,
Hmm.
there's the second optional area in Alfheim available then? Did you guys do that then, or did you wait till later?
I think I
Uh,
waited till later.
if you
I
do it
think I had
then,
a
who do you
little
do it
look.
with?
Freya.
I did it then.
Yeah, so I've made the decision I have to replay this game at some point to do every side quest I did with Atreus with Freya and every side quest I did with Freya with
Oh
Atreus.
yeah.
I
Hmm.
need to know. Because you can do pretty much every side quest with Atreus. The only things you can't do are the epilogue quests. Though I didn't try, and I'm curious, can you do the quest about, how that time Freya got married? With Atreus? I don't know how that worked.
That'd be very
Could
funny.
you?
I don't know. I'm gonna find out one day.
It would be very funny if like someone didn't think of it the first time, and their first time playing through, they go all
Ugh.
on this quest about Freya's wedding with Atreus. You might have to start it with Freya,
Yeah,
you know.
you almost certainly have to start it. I don't know if I'll finish though.
But then maybe if you just walk away,
Nah. Well,
who knows?
but the second optional Alfheim area, which the only thing I wanted to bring up from there was the that one elf when you go into the library,
The library
trying to get the
fight.
book, and like at the end of it when Kratos doesn't kill her. I love that moment.
Yes.
I was glad he didn't kill her. Me as the player, I wanted to kill her because that fight really pissed me off. But I was like, good for you, Kratos. You're a better man than me right
You just
now.
gotta learn to parry.
Yeah.
Like a
Hey.
Chad.
I did learn eventually.
Yes, okay, I gotta ask, what shield did you use? What shield did everyone use? I, of
parry
course, used the
shield.
parry shield. With the,
Absolutely
bonus
not. I did not use that. I
that,
tried. I really tried.
I used the bonus that made the parry window bigger.
Nice.
I used the onslaught shield. I think because of that fight, actually, because it starts off, and one of the things the librarian can start with is like a shield charge thing where like you have to shield break her,
Mhm.
and you start from like full room distance if you have already died to her. So you either have to like full run in and just pray she does that, or take your shot, like it's a tough,
Yeah.
50-50 on like
That
what is
does
she gonna
sound
do
dumb.
here. It's
Yeah, I
doable, and
actually.
I'm bad. I
No, I
eventually
mean,
got it down.
if it's sitting you away from like the whole room away
Yeah,
from them,
it's like
that's
the
Yeah.
first
pretty
time you fight, you are close,
right.
but then you walk in and she's aggroed.
Just
Um,
don't die.
Yeah. I died once because I had like
Um.
1 health going into that library.
Yeah. Nice.
Jeez.
What I was just gonna say though is I really liked how they changed that they let you know that you can shield bash or shield break in this game with the blue circle because they didn't. Well, I didn't see it in the
I
first
don't think
game.
there was shield break in the first game.
It is because in the
There is?
Valkyries, yes,
Oh
Valkyries
yeah,
when you
you do
use their
have to break
wings,
their wings, don't you?
yeah,
Oh
and you
yeah.
use your shield to bash it. But I didn't know that, so I learned something.
Well, we all did. Uh Yeah, no, it's a much better mechanic in this game. Also, just the shield in general. I don't think I've seen a single person use the shield less than the first game, or even as little as the first game, just in general. Like, it's just way more useful, it feels like, in this game.
Yeah, I don't
I
block with
relied
it,
it in the
to be
first game.
fair. I never block with it, aside
That's
from
fair. I
literally the
never
last.
purposely block.
Aside from
Yeah,
literally
same.
like a post-game fight, I blocked like a singular attack
Yeah, I either dodge or
string.
parry.
But otherwise, yeah, I
More
would
when I can
dodge, parry, or shield break. Because otherwise, if you can block it, just parry.
But after we return to Sindri's house, we get Atreus's third segment, which is the Asgard wall. First time in Asgard.
Oh yeah.
What did everyone think of climbing the wall?
Well, he goes there because of Tyr's like, oh man, you're the champion, dude.
Oh, you're right.
And then Chris is like, don't call him that. I will cut your throat where you stand. But he's convinced. Off he goes. Or no, sorry, he did that. He did that before Jotunheim, didn't he? He did that before Jotunheim. My bad.
He
My bad.
did. No, yes, he
So
did.
that was already in his head.
He does it.
He did?
I'm forgetting exactly what happened in that scene there because he gets angry about it. Because I remember you have like, I believe you're eating with everybody in that scene.
Yeah, he does get angry in that scene, but it wasn't him calling him the champion of the Jotnar.
Okay,
It was
you're right,
something else.
But either way, he gets angry about something,
Yes.
like teenagers do.
Yarr!
They did such a good job of making me go, why is he so annoying? I get it. I understand. I sympathize. I've been
Yeah.
there. But at the same time, stop. Grow up, child.
Right. Yeah.
Um, yeah,
You're not a champion yet, but
But I want to start a war.
yeah,
yeah,
dude.
he just runs away. He goes to Freya's house. Like, where do I go? And the answer is,
Oh yeah.
answer is
To the
Asgard.
dying turtle
Oh
house.
yeah, the
I'm so
turtle house.
glad he went and saw him.
Did you guys ever go back at the end of the game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. It's okay.
Freya's like,
very-
hey, my bad, bro.
I'm sorry, I
I'll find
almost killed
someone
you."
else. She doesn't.
Yeah, because she. Wait,
She just says she will. I never found
Oh,
someone to take care of
she
him.
does.
Who?
That's why I'm thinking we had different experiences. I don't know if I want to spoil it for you.
Tell me.
It is a
Tell us.
spoiler cast, I guess. The Traveler.
Oh. I need to go
Yeah,
back
so
there then. Good to know.
so what
Tell me, what
happens is
happens?
later on, she goes, yeah, I'll find someone, and then I meet the Traveler again. He was just somewhere in I can't remember where I found him. Probably Vanderheim, but I can't
Yeah,
remember
we did
specifically
that. I
where.
did that part. I don't remember this that you're talking about.
Okay,
though.
so you talk to him, and then you go, oh yeah, I have a friend actually that it's a nice spot, it's private. Yeah, I got a spot
I
for you
guess
if
I
you
went
want.
to the turtle after that, probably.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think I saw like I fully explored so much and then I did like all the post game stuff and then eventually I was like, why can't I go over to that Berserker gravestone? And Helheim. And I was like,
right.
I looked it up online. I'm like, oh my god. There are additional doors that I can access by going to the Realm Between Realms
Yes,
and talking
yes.
to Ratatoskr.
Oh, it's Ratatoska. Oh,
So that's
because
how I got all the additional
might be
doors.
where you're missing some things.
Well, no, no,
Yeah.
no. I got it. Like I
Oh.
visited the place. I went there so late compared to all of my other post game exploration.
Mm,
Like
right.
those doors were the last thing I did. We're very
Yeah.
late.
But yeah, we get to climb the wall, which I found very cool. And we get to the top, and
That
we
was
get
cool.
to
It
meet.
was also very like nerve wracking.
Yeah.
It was so funny. What's the guy at the bottom's name?
I have no idea. The human guy. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Sven Stjolf,
He's an
uh,
average guy.
uh,
He's just an average guy. That's his
boy,
entire character.
new boy.
Average boy.
Other boy. Yeah, he was funny, and he's like, yeah, I'm just watching in case you fall to your death. Don't worry about it though. It's yeah, you go for it. You got this.
Uh,
I want you to know I'm on the wiki and his name isn't on here.
nice.
I will check my codex.
But yeah, he was good.
Gilder.
And we get to the very top, the very tippy top of the tower, and we get to meet Heimdall, the nicest guy ever.
That
Yeah.
freaked me out. That part. I was like, no, all my hard work.
I've been wondering for a while, like, what are they gonna do with Heimdall? Because,
Mhm.
like, I mean, I've known this part of Norse mythology for a long time. Of like the real final battle is between Loki and Heimdall of Ragnarok. That is the final battle in the mythology. Other than Surtur destroying the whole, universe. But before that, and they did. I loved Heimdall. He is the most enjoyably unlikable character ever.
Oh yeah.
Like he's
Love to
just
hate
a
him.
pure heel and nothing else, and he's so good because of it. And I love that,
he
like,
is.
he doesn't actually, like, when he meets Thor and he's being all stand up-wish to him. Eventually, like, Thor's just gonna stare him down until he backs away scared.
I was like, go ahead, try.
Yeah.
Find out.
Put in his place.
And we get to meet Odin. again, who is I love his act. I love Odin. His actor is
Again.
so
Oh,
good.
I guess again we did meet him.
At the
Yeah.
beginning of the game.
Honestly,
First
it had been
episode, though.
so
Yeah,
long.
it takes a long time, like 20 hours. But I love his actor so much in this.
Yeah. Swell guy, super nice.
It's so he's likable.
I don't know why all those stories are so negative about Odin.
Yeah.
He's real chill to Atreus.
Just a nice guy.
Yeah.
He just wants you to help him out a little, and then he'll help you.
Just
right?
help me with my mask,
My mystery
and I'll give you
mask.
everything you want.
I'm just gonna.
Like Freya in their marriage. You just do what I want,
Oh yeah.
and I'll give you everything you want. Oh, you can't.
Oh, that's too bad. I'm just gonna say now, I understand. I get it, but I spent half the game going, "What is the mask? What is it? Tell me, tell me," and then they didn't tell me. I get it for thematic reasons, and it works, but still, I'm now in my head going, "But what is it?" You go.
Atreus was able to read it, and Odin couldn't, right?
Yeah, I assumed it was Greek.
Which implies it's Greek.
Well, no, it's Atreus. He can understand any language.
Oh, can he? I forgot about that.
With
You're
enough
right.
effort, he can understand any language. He could understand
I forgot about that.
which I guess that's just giant, probably.
Well, that's just giant, though.
Theoretically, but still, he can speak to anything. He can talk to animals. With enough effort,
I didn't think about that. I just assumed it was
language.
Greek.
I assumed it was Greek too, but I haven't looked it up.
I don't know what it would be in Greek mythology, to be clear.
Yeah.
It's just judging based off of what we know and everything. I just assumed. And there were also things. There was a harp in Odin's vault there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys caught that. There was like traces a line like, "Oh, that there's a Greek instrument here." And I was looking. I was like, "Where? Where?" And I looked. There's a harp on the ground, which is a Greek instrument, or maybe not a harp, but like some harp-esque instrument. Implying that Odin has things from other mythologies in his thing, probably from Tyr.
Right. Make a lot of sense. He's as paranoid as he is.
So that was cool. I don't know. I liked the tension of the Asgard section.
Because there's the lack of tension from Atreus makes the player more tense.
That's fair. Yeah, it's like, what are you doing?
You gotta go to Muspelheim with Thor. You get a part of a mask.
Atreus successfully is like, "Hey, Thor, I hear the trials are really fun, bro." He's like, "What?" and flies over and goes and does the Muspelheim trials before we can. He clears them all.
Yeah, it's funny how Atreus was like, "Yeah, me and my dad did them. They were really fun." And I was like, "They were grueling. They were so pain. I hated them."
Yeah.
But after his second section is done, is there anything else you wanted to say about that part?
Do we meet Thrud by then?
We do. Yeah, we get to meet Thrud.
What'd you guys think of Thrud?
I liked her.
I liked her.
I like her as well. Yeah, I obviously she's sort of the embodiment of Atreus, sort of just being friendly to like everyone. You know, it's
we also needed a POV character to sympathize with Thor from,
Yeah, and that worked.
Yeah, he's sympathetic to an extent, but to see his daughter, see it through her eyes, really makes it work.
It's very human. It didn't feel like a. Sometimes mythology stories can feel so disconnected because they're so blown out of proportion. Of look at how excessive these stories are with gods. If you commit X sin, this can happen. Whereas this was like, okay, well, what if we take a more grounded approach with Thor and his family issues? And it really worked. It was a very grounded, hey, he's depressed and having a really tough time with the loss of his kids and loss of his like usefulness, and he's drinking again because of it. Like that is a
Well, honestly,
very human
he's
problem.
yeah, but he's like
Exactly.
still
That is not a
awful
god
because
problem.
He's not actually sad about his kids dying. He's sad that his dad doesn't like him.
I think it's both though. Like
I think it's both.
because uh, if it was just Thor, I would agree with you. But I think Sif's presence makes me think that it's both.
That's fair. That's fair.
If Sif didn't exist, I would agree with you. But because of her presence and her just being like, listen, we want our family back, you know, I think it's him wanting to have a normal family life and it being denied and denied and denied, and him thinking that's due to Kratos and Atreus, and eventually, you know, coming to the realization maybe it's not. But you know, his whole storyline is incredible and probably the best in the game. Well, Freya's is really good too. I don't know. There's so many good ones.
Yeah, no, exactly. And like you're saying with the like very human stories, like they're just so relatable. Like especially like with the in-laws, right? Like Sif disagreeing and being like, "Can't you see, what your dad's doing to his family?" Like it's just not like not so far removed as like you're saying. And yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't.
alcoholism and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not the type of story you would hear in a mythology story, typically, because it's not blown out of proportion and
Mm-hmm.
And not about
you know.
Thor of all people.
No, no, and it certainly made him very like human and relatable and likable. I mean, I
Yeah.
liked him from second one, but
Right.
I liked Thrud and eventually liked Sif, and yeah. Did you
I
guys
also
go for it?
No, what were you gonna say? I was just gonna say I also like didn't really think much about how like thick Thor was until someone was like, "Oh, do you like thick Thor?" I was like, I mean, yeah, I guess. I didn't really even think like, of course, most people
Yeah.
I guess these days would be used to the Marvel Thor that we have right
Mhm.
now. So or
Thor
in whatever
landed, and
comics.
I said, "That man is rotund."
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. He's half giant, so him being tall makes sense. Or big.
Hey, he won't tell you
Mm,
that.
No, no.
He slays giants. He doesn't, he isn't the giant. He just kills them.
mm.
But yes, after Atreus decides to take a nap, we wake up and we're Kratos again. We're going off to Midgard to try to tell the future.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, this part.
but this time in Norse.
Yes. So did you anyone have anything to say about the open world Midgard area? I thought it was fine. I liked the Sigurd backstory. That was
Oh,
cool.
that was really cool.
I
But
I
otherwise,
especially
What?
liked that they brought it up again at the end credits.
yeah,
I did not expect
they
that.
like, yeah.
Wait,
Uh,
what are you guys talking about again?
so
The
the
Valkyrie Queen
Oh yeah.
what is the
finding out her
name of the area
backstory.
here? Let me see.
When you
It's
did you do that
the
before beating the game?
Oarsman area, maybe. I think it's the Oarsman area where
I
you go
know the
through and
Oarsman
it's
area.
like, yeah, it's her
Oh,
old
yes,
like
yes, yes.
home.
I know what you're talking about now, with her husband and her
Yeah.
brother or something like that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it was a
exactly. So like
whole
Yeah.
her lover killed
Mm-hmm.
most of her family, and then her brother killed her lover, and then in a
Yep.
rage she killed her brother.
not
Yep.
realizing
Or,
that
well,
her
Yep.
lover
froze her brother,
killed most of their
basically
family.
killing him,
It was very
not realizing what had happened,
sad
just seeing
tragedy.
the end result.
I was very, very surprised when they brought it up, like when Mimir got to talk to her about it at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just so important, like having Mimir there and being like, oh,
Mhm.
Sigurd, I didn't know. Like it's just a
Yeah.
simple thing for him to say, but then it's just like, man.
Yeah, like that's the
But
most
at the same
important
time, it's
person
like he
to
probably
him.
didn't tell her about like the Lungbaka,
Mhm.
like I'm
Yeah.
sure he hasn't
I
mentioned
think
all of his
I
past
think that's what
sins.
Kratos says, right? Like
Mhm.
I'm sure you haven't told her everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so good.
But yeah, after you're done exploring the ice there, which took me longer than I thought it would. Uh, I circled
mean,
that
yeah.
temple so many times trying to get inside. I wanted to get in
Oh
there so bad.
no!
Uh, but
You
after
didn't
that, you
make
get
it.
to no, not till later. Um, but we go to see the Norns. We get some little dream area
Mm.
where I'm gonna say, and I know Lucian agrees, very sad didn't get any of the Greek stuff. Also, just in
Mm.
general,
Yeah,
I wanted more Athena. I
that
wanted
was
just
my
one
thing.
more Athena scene.
For his fight of like a memory fight, I just wanted it to be Athena. They showed a ghost Athena in the first game,
And it was one of the
and I
best
was
parts of
like,
the
well,
whole game.
that's really cool. Like, is it PTSD? Is it actually Athena? Like, what is it?
Mm.
And we know it, like,
And then
canonically, Athena Ghost is around. She is
yeah,
just
like
hanging
she
about.
went to a higher plane or something. What? But
Mm-hmm.
either way, it would have been cool in my mind for like an Athena fight there.
Or just a
But
fight, or just a scene with Athena there with a fight with something.
yeah, just like a Greek reference there. I
Anything.
think it would have been the most appropriate timing for it,
Mm-hmm.
since it's like a reference to the past, you know.
Yeah. But I
But
get it. It was still
yeah,
cool.
it was still very cool.
It's like
The
I can
Mimir
complain all
part was
day,
the
but it was still
coolest.
great. Oh yeah, Mimir scene was
Like
great.
Sigrun coming flying in at you. It's
Oh
like,
man,
uh-oh.
uh, that was so good.
I didn't sign up for this. I avoided you already. I got credit for killing you without doing it. Get out of here.
Then when we're out of that, we get to go to a lake and we get to meet a kelpie.
Yeah.
Love that.
Now, do you know anything about kelpies? Well,
Not at all.
okay, I know nothing about them pretty much. What I do know, thanks to the power of the internet and Reddit specifically,
Hmm?
kelpies are not Norse at all.
Oh.
They're more of a Gaelic, like Scottish thing.
Oh,
I think
hints?
doesn't Mimir specifically say they're wherever he's from, like they were around there a lot. Because I don't think Mimir is from Norse in the Norse area.
Yeah, you know I didn't think about that, but he does say that. I think he does have a line referencing that. I think you're right.
Yeah,
It just didn't click in my
he's
mind.
from somewhere else. That's where the Berserkers are also from there. I don't know too much details, but
Huh. You know, I'd never thought about that.
yeah, I didn't think about it until recently. But yeah, the Berserkers, and the Kelpie are from a different area that's not the Norse
Like
realms.
Gaelic
Yeah,
area. So like Scottish, Ireland, sort of that
like I just
general
I didn't think
Wales,
about it.
Scotland, Ireland.
I didn't think about it until I saw it pointed out, just because it's Mimir. He's a Norse character.
Right.
But it makes sense. But then we get to go see the Norns. What do you two think of that scene?
I liked it. I thought it was
Yeah, I liked it. I like the setting of it. Like it made me think of like a Witcher area.
Yeah.
I got a very like Witcher vibe from the three of them and the general area.
Yeah, it reminds me of the witches from that game, from Witcher 3
Mhm.
specifically. But yeah,
But
that was
I dug it.
I loved the whole like plot line from there on
Talking
out
over?
of
Oh.
Oh, sorry, you go. What was that?
No, I liked when they would talk over them and like, you
Mhm.
know, predict what they were gonna say. I just thought that
Yeah,
was
that was great.
hilarious.
Oh, the whole plot line of they can only predict it because the gods are so predictable. Like
Yeah.
they're just really good at figuring out what people are gonna do, because the gods just do the same thing over and over again, pretty much. And then they're like, and then Heimdall will kill Loki. Wait, no, you'll kill Heimdall. You'll kill Heimdall. Or I can't remember what the prophecy was.
Well, but you'll kill Heimdall and start Ragnarok.
That's right. That's what it was. Ragnarok will start
Like,
when you kill
you'll
Heimdall.
give into your old ways,
Yeah.
kill, and go back to being the god of war, basically.
And then he's like, you know what?
And start Ragnarok.
You're right.
Yes, I will.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Right.
Thank you.
If only I had a pointy
Finally,
stick.
some good fates. Some ones I don't have to kill.
Then we get to go on one of the best parts of the game, which is the quest for the spear.
Yes, 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 yes,
Whoop.
yes.
Yes,
Wait.
but
Oh, did we miss
on
something?
the way back, we find a noose
Oh yeah, we found.
that
That's right.
yeah.
That's
Odin
right.
used
You're
to
right.
kill himself before,
Yeah,
or tried
yeah,
to.
Odin's talked about. Yeah, Odin was dead for 7 days. He
Oh,
sacrificed
okay.
himself to
Didn't know
himself.
he was Jesus.
Like he sacrificed himself to Odin,
Oh my god.
so he was able to get out of dying through a loophole.
And Norse mythology had a narcissist.
What? Yeah, that's everything Odin is. Everything.
Anyway, yes, best one of the best quests. Go ahead.
We get to go get a spear. The dwarves like we need a weapon to kill Heimdall, who can see the future. Every movie's gonna be hit by, except when it's a spear.
To mess with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to distract him basically. And
how do we give him a headache? Let's give that guy a migraine.
And the dwarves.
I love their little like random conversation they had between each other, where it was like, "Oh yeah," and then you do that thing with the thing, and then we have this thing, and it was like, you know, have you? Yeah, I've had those conversations with like my sister, and like I've seen other people have those conversations just when you're on the same wavelength, and it's like, yes, that thing.
I love them, like the Sindri being like, but really, like,
yeah,
we need to use it. Like, we're gonna give it up? we have infinite money downstairs, and we're gonna use it on this?
I was ready for him to do the "my precious," but he didn't.
And Brock making the point of we have more than we'll ever need in our entire lives.
It was very funny how he almost dropped it into the sea of false rings.
God.
Oh my god. Game over. We lose.
Yep.
And then we head out to the mermaid.
Well, we don't, because Heimdall doesn't die.
Well, that's true. You make good points. We head out to the mermaid with Brock, who was Sindri was very insistent on not go to see the mermaid.
Yes.
Yeah. Which, prior to that, he had a conversation with Atreus about how the reason it can be inferred, the reason he is,
it's
basically like OCD is, he went to Alfheim, to the light, and dragged 3/4 of Brock's soul out of the light of Alfheim. Brock had died before, and he brought him back. Brock doesn't know. It's also why in the quest where we make the spear, when we go there, everyone sees Brock and they all go inside. And why Brock presumably has blue skin.
Yeah.
He doesn't have oxygen in his body. And he only has 3/4 of his soul, not the full thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's important for context. Go ahead.
Yes, we get to go to the mermaid. She needs the what was it? Like the little spear part at the end, right? It was like there was a piece and then the ring, and then also some blood from a god.
The blood of a god.
And then it made
and then the wind,
symbol.
right?
Yeah, what was it called? What of the wind? It was such a good. Say it again.
The blessing?
No, maybe blessing. Yeah, maybe blessing. There was a term he was using. That whole scene on the elevator up.
Yeah, they needed a blessing from the mermaid. The mermaid didn't bless it.
No.
It was
before
that.
That
was their ride on the way up. Was him complaining that she didn't give them a blessing.
No.
No, that was the way back. Collecting the wind. What's it called?
I have no idea what you're speaking of.
Yeah, so Brock was like, I'll get this for the lady as a gift. You don't remember that part?
Yeah, right, exactly. And
that becomes
he
explains. He talks about,
he explains the idea of like they're like capturing the essence. Right, it's not the form of the thing. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Thank you, Whale. It's not the form of the thing that matters, it's the nature of the thing. And that being important going forward.
Mm.
The form versus the nature of something, and what is what,
Hmm.
And that was really potent coming from Brock. I was like, wow.
Yeah,
Right.
Brock's so good. Like his speed, like Brock and Kratos, both like Kratos going. It needs the blessing of a great blacksmith. Like,
Yeah.
and he doesn't care about if Brock spits on his stick. That didn't
No.
sound good.
I mean,
but what was I
I
saying?
also like his reasoning for bringing Brock was like, one,
Mhm.
he was pissed with Sindri for helping Atreus find
Yeah.
his back.
He
Two,
he
Yeah.
he's
likes
like,
Brock.
I like Brock. He speaks
He
simple
likes
to
him.
me.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like,
So
oh,
good.
the blessing.
Like, yeah, I get it.
Asking Brock to give the blessing is to make Brock feel better.
Right, he doesn't care about
It is.
blessings. He's
Yeah.
Kratos. He doesn't believe in that.
He would use it regardless.
Yeah.
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 And then, like, one of my favorite moments in the game, which is just using that thing in the next scene. Like, oh, we actually have
Yeah.
the spear. Oh, it's so good. And like, I love Brock being able to tell that Kratos knows how to use a spear, and it's the first weapon a Spartan learns.
Yes.
Ugh,
It
it's
just
so
ties
good.
in so well. Yeah.
Like, I went in hoping for Mjolnir, but no, it couldn't have been anything else. It had to be the spear.
Yeah.
It's perfect. And like Mimir says, like Brock said something like, oh man, I can't remember exactly, but Mimir being like, yeah, this is lining up a bit too well, like with your past.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. I know that one of my first thoughts was finally I get to use those random winds things I've been seeing all over the map.
Oh my god, same.
Oh man, I've
Like,
gone back to them multiple
finally.
times.
Oh my
I was trying to
god.
predict what we needed to use them. I was like,
Same.
a fan? I have no idea.
I thought it would be two different things because there were like different markers, right? There's like the yellow,
Yes. The thing you
like
blow up and then the thing you stab into. Yeah, I know what you're
exactly.
talking about. Yeah.
So I was like, surely that's not like the same thing.
The
And then I
same?
got it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it explodes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the spear just
Yeah,
in
that
general is so good. I know we talked about it a little before,
So
but
much fun.
it
Mm.
like I feel like
It-
it is the perfect third to the other two weapons.
Yes.
Right.
Like it fills
Like,
a
not
space I
similar.
didn't know wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
On the trip to visit the lady, though, Brock does realize something is wrong because the lady can't see him.
mhm.
Yeah,
She
just
doesn't
completely
acknowledge him
ignores him.
ever. She
Yeah.
only looks at and talks to Kratos. And so Mimir reveals like mermaids only speak to like a part of the person's soul,
Mm.
the one he's lacking.
Yeah, and like Brock,
So
he's
then he
upset,
realized
but,
like,
like-
oh, I died.
yeah, he like
Sindri,
he
you
guessed it.
son of a bitch.
he already guessed it by this point. Like,
He had it. Was just confirmation. Yeah.
Yeah,
he was-
and
he
he
was
was so
surprised.
excited to meet the lady.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then on the way out, we get to meet Odin as Kratos,
Oh yeah.
Right?
and he's just like, "Hey, you just stop, and it's all good, Don't worry about
What if
it."
we didn't fight? What if we were friends?
No,
We could rule the world together.
I didn't bring it up. I love at the beginning after Odin's like 3 to 5 minutes speech about why they shouldn't fight. And he's just like, and what? Okay, we have explained my deal. What do you say? And he gets up and looks around for like 5 seconds. It's just no. That's it. No, nothing else.
That is his best line in the game.
Yeah.
Like just no, not that particular one, but no is like the Kratos line of Ragnarok.
Mhm.
It
No,
was boy
Just- no,
in
it's better than
2018.
that.
It's no.
It's not even
in
no.
Ragnarok.
It's just That's it. That's his
Oh,
best
just
line.
grunting.
Grumbles.
Grumbles. Oh man, we haven't talked about Faye yet.
We haven't. I've been waiting.
Okay, let's wait till the end, like our last scene.
Mm.
Then we get to go see Atreus again. We get to play as him in Helheim. And we let loose a giant dog.
With Thrud. Yep.
That's right. And
Yeah. Yeah. We release Garm onto the world, who wreaks havoc.
Opens up a couple
Whoops.
side quest portals.
Whoopsie.
Uh-oh.
And then he heads
He goes back home,
Heads back, meets
leading
up with
to
Dad,
such a good
and
scene.
we get
I was
to-
so
yeah.
proud of
Oh
Kratos.
my. Father and son bonding in hell again.
Atreus, well, no, before that, Atreus goes back home. The world is in absolute chaos because he
Yeah.
released Garm.
Mhm.
Everyone
bricks are
from
open.
that area, like Mimir, Freya, like everyone, Sindri, Brock, Ratatoskr, everyone's like, "What did you do? Oh my God, what in the world did you do? Like, you need to fix this." And Chris is like, "Stop. He's back. Lay off." You know, he shuts it down.
Dead.
He's happy he's back, and he stops it there, and he's like, "We'll fix it."
And it's just like,
But
okay, let's
he's
go.
back.
Let's
Drop
go
it.
fix your problem, son.
And I was so proud of him. I was like, "Oh, Kratos, you're a
love-
dad now."
I loved the back and forth with them of each of them trying to solve the problem their own way. And then going, okay, no,
That was really good.
you don't get to do it.
Yeah.
I get to kill him now, and it doesn't work. Okay, I gotta try now.
Yeah. He's like, "Don't use Odin's powers," or whatever, you know, like, "Don't use that in front of me again."
And then we get the big doggy. It's
Yeah.
so cute.
Yeah.
He just removes Garm doesn't have a soul in his
doesn't have a
body.
soul.
So he's like, "What if I stick Fenrir's soul in there?" Remember that knife with Fenrir's soul from the beginning? Well, it's back.
But Angerboda was the one that told him, right? He's like,
Yeah.
like,
Angrboda was like, "Why do you have a
"Whose
soul in
soul's
your
in
knife?
there?" Yeah.
Whose soul is in that?" Yeah. And he's like, "Huh? What soul?"
Yeah, so is that why the wolves are drawn to him when we get there?
You'll have to explain.
What do you mean? Oh,
Hang on.
when we get to Jotunheim.
Yeah, sorry, the air.
Oh,
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
That makes so
I
much
think-
sense.
I think it might just be a Loki is here thing,
Right,
I
yeah.
don't know.
but it could be that.
It could be.
Like,
That would make
is
sense.
Fenrir the god of wolves?
No, Fenrir's just a wolf, but
I
he has a
have no
wolf
idea.
in his pocket, so they can smell it. Probably. I mean, can they
Oh.
smell souls?
I mean, he can also turn into a wolf.
He can also
To be
turn
clear,
into a
like
wolf.
Loki.
Yeah. Could be
But that
can
that is a
he-
possibility.
Either
It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But after we've took care of the dog, we gotta go get Freyr. He's been captured off screen, and we go. There's not much to it. We go, and guess what? Hey, Heimdall's here. Is there anything between
Yeah.
those two moments that I'm missing? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
If there is, we'll go back to it. But we guess after we get Heimdall, which is
Was
I'd-
Skull and Hottie before that?
no, that's after.
Oh
Wait.
yeah, when was that?
No, that is before. You're right, because we have to be able to switch from day to night. So we do get Skull and Hottie because we get to see them once in the first visit with Freya.
I
But
wish we saw like the
plot
one who
point-
wasn't in the sky, chilling at their little
That'd be great.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
area
That would
there,
be
but
nice.
they're just gone after a certain point.
Yeah, that was the moment that I wish I didn't watch in the trailer.
Yeah.
That was in the
trailer shooting.
trailer?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
in the trailer.
What?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
know.
that was such a cool moment.
It really was, and
Yeah,
then I
that's
saw it
the
in the game.
one.
I was like, yeah, I seen that.
Especially Atreus like making the decision of like, well, whatever, I guess I'll follow the prophecy. And Chris is like, you're not doing this because of prophecy, you're doing it because it's the right thing to do. You know?
Yeah.
It's a really good like teaching moment. It was a really cool moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I
awesome.
get it. They gotta hype up the game, but damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. But so then after we deal with the dogs,
Then Heimdall.
we deal with more dogs, like a dog, and then more dogs. We got Heimdall, another dog. in a
Yeah. The
metaphorical
God of War is
way.
back, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Did you know the God of War has returned?
he's here. He has a pointy stick now.
Yeah, he came back just for Heimdall.
I love that fight though. Just mechanically, probably my favorite boss fight. Like I just loved
Yeah.
playing that.
Hmm.
That one I did. It took me a little bit of brain power to figure out what I was
Mhm.
doing.
Well, like you eventually figuring out the puzzle and then actually having to then be good at it.
Execute it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just really really good. And
It was a
then
fun fight.
and we
I
get to the
like
end. Oh, you go.
I like the dialogue there. It's the same thing with the
Mhm.
Thor fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kratos is just going and Heimdall's hating it. Heimdall
God's
is
taunting
just
Kratos.
being a whiny.
Kratos. Roar.
But then we get to the end of the fight, or well, almost to the end of the fight. Kratos like explodes his arm off. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, stop, and I'll leave you alone. He doesn't want to kill him, and then he just has to grow a magic arm made of Bifrost. And fight more, and then like again, one of my favorite scenes is shots is the one where you can see Mimir right behind Kratos choking Heimdall on the
Yes.
ground,
Oh.
and he's just begging him to
Like,
stop.
stop,
Like that's
brother.
not who you are.
Yeah.
That was really good, yeah.
Yep.
I was like, no, Mimir, this is who he is. Let him go.
I got very
Lucian's all
sad.
for it.
I was very
Well,
sad.
especially just like having Mimir's face right there too. It was just such a different impact.
Yeah.
But Lucian's like, no, yeah, this is him.
No.
It's tough.
Shut up, Mimir.
There's the
Shut up,
hype.
Mimir. Look the other
There's
way.
the hype
Close your
of
eyes.
kill him, kill him, kill him. And then there's like the emotional aspect of like, ah, come on, I guess you're better than that now, Kratos.
But then he kills him anyways.
Yeah.
Makes his horn. And then we get the running sequence, where we get to hold Freyr.
Sorry, what was that? Who's born?
He
Oh,
takes the horn.
Takes his horn.
Yeah.
Horn,
Takes his horn. I
Gjallarhorn.
misheard you. Yeah.
No, I also misheard.
I'm sorry. But then we get the running sequence with Freyr, which you were
I
talking about
loved
earlier.
it so much.
I was very good, unexpected, because they did not do anything else like that in the
Yes.
entire game, outside of the like
That's
on the
probably
dog
why
sled.
it was good.
Oh,
Probably.
Fox Run or whatever.
Yeah, there's the dog sled and the and you're right, running as Atreus.
There's a foot race.
Is there?
Yeah, with Atreus. There's before the wolf run.
Oh.
You
Oh,
race.
you're right. Well, that
Angrboda
one's
on
yeah,
foot.
I
Rode
don't
it like
know if I'd
fully
count that
rubber
one as
banded
much.
in front of me.
But either way, it was very good. I like just
banter
it
is
was a very good set
so
piece
good.
right after the really
Yeah.
good mechanical boss fight. And we save the day mostly, and we
Good
get
break.
on the flying boat, and then that guy I still don't know the name of sacrifices himself.
Big ear.
Guy with big
Big
sword.
ear.
Do you know?
Super cool moment. I
Yeah.
literally, as I watched, I
He's
think you were in
awesome.
voice chat with me
Yes,
as I
remember
was
this. Yeah,
as I was there. I was like, man, that's a really cool moment. I wish I cared about him.
I just stopped talking there and laughed in my
I
head.
was like, who are you? Like, I know who you are. I just, if this was anyone else in the group, I would be more hype. But like, I've
He's
seen
just
you
that,
once.
that guy.
You're
with a
just
sword.
there.
He needed
Like-
a side quest.
He, Hmm?
He needed a side quest or something before that.
oh,
Or
he
just-
got them. It just after.
Yeah, he didn't. Like, I don't know. He
That's why
needed
they couldn't be before because
something.
they didn't know that you would be like. They couldn't know that you would do it in
That's
time.
fair. I guess I would like him to have been part of a main quest for like 2 minutes. Anything.
Yeah.
I still think it worked
What's-
though.
Or even optionally speak with you,
True.
which he refuses to do.
There was a painting in Angerboda's place that I'm sure he was in. Or it was
Really?
just another traveler.
Hmm.
It might not have been. It might have just been another guy
I
with a
mean,
big sword. But I was like,
I
hey,
guess it would make
is
sense.
that guy?
He saves Atreus'
could be.
life. So he's technically important.
Right.
Also, like, I mean, among travelers, he is important, right? He's the one who recognized it was a lie. And the travelers are important to Jotunheim because, again, like, the purpose of them is Odin was lying to them to make them try to find Jotunheim for him.
Mm.
So it does make sense for there to be like he was the one to
Link.
realize it's a lie and try to like be like, stop. There's no more reason to travel, blah blah blah. So that makes sense. I didn't catch that, but that's a good catch.
Yeah, I'll have another look and see if it is. But yeah.
But yeah, after that whole segment, which he does go out like a hero. We get to use our flying boat once, and go off to the most optional feeling area in the game. I think every other big zone feels like it's integrated really well, whereas this one just kind of feels like, and it's like I like the zone. I love the story and the quest there.
It's the best side quest area.
I'd say it's the worst.
No, the story stuff there, learning
story
about
stuff's
the
good.
fight that Frey had with Thor, those are the coolest. Like
Okay, that is
that was
cool.
probably my favorite like optional zone like side quest stuff in the game. That was so cool.
I
Like
think it was pretty good setting up, that even Kratos didn't know all his wife's secrets
Yeah,
kind
I
of thing.
still.
yeah, and that had been set up throughout the game too with like
Yeah,
Mimir learning that
everyone
with
else. Yeah,
Sigrun and
yeah.
learning about Mimir and him, like
Yeah.
we've been learning everyone's past and
Mm-hmm.
we just so happened to come across
Mm-hmm.
Faze and oh, whoops, she's a badass.
Yeah.
She
And
fought Thor.
at the very beginning of the game, Thor, I assumed because of the Jormungandr stuff that this was time travel shenanigans. When he said at the beginning of the game, "This feels familiar,"
Yeah.
but no, he was talking about Faye. That time he was really drunk.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah,
I never thought of that.
feels
Wow.
familiar because he's fought someone with this axe before. Like, and just like the idea that she is strong enough for this. I mean, he's drunk, but still, she's strong enough to take on Thor. And
Yeah,
Kratos didn't
not
know.
Yeah, that was sick.
I mean, Heimdall was scared to fight him.
Mhm. And like she
So, like,
knows, she knows she's not going to kill him. Like, or maybe she didn't. I'll be fair. It is possibly implied that she just tried to kill him to stop him from killing Kratos, and then failed. But either way, she lived, which is like, I don't know, puts her in the top 5 strongest in Norse.
Yeah.
probably top like 2 of all giants.
Yeah, true.
Hey,
Mhm.
she didn't die from Thor.
Yeah. But overall, I'd say the area is just too big. It goes on a little too long for me.
I did feel like it dragged on a little bit long, but
It
I
was a
think
bit
because
big.
the other problem was I kept finding stuff and I was like, this is definitely something. And I can't remember if I just had to wait a little longer to find all the weapons I needed to be able to access it or what happened. But yeah, I did find that one like
The day-night
it,
cycle was a bit
I also,
boring there, and then the
gimmicky.
releasing the
Yeah.
water
yeah,
led to like a
it was
long
not fun.
time
It was
of
not
like.
fun to traverse.
That's
That's
fair.
the big
I
thing.
agree there. There were fun fights there.
Mhm.
Like
Oh yeah,
that area
Dragons
had
were
the
cool.
most dense amount of boss fights for sure.
Mm-hmm.
There was all the dragons, the huntsmen,
The phantom fights, if they're called phantoms, were
phantoms.
Yeah,
quite
those were
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the first one I found was in the optional area
The desert?
in the desert.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was like, "Whoa, this is
Yeah.
so cool!" I mean, like we got to fight
Me
like 7 of them,
too.
but still, that first
Yeah, I
one.
like walked into it and I was like, huh, okay.
Um,
And then I couldn't figure out how to get the last tower, and I was like, oh yeah, I can throw stuff.
probably made it easier after you get the spear.
One of the very last like items I had to get in Midgard was a legendary chest, and I finally found it. I revealed it. It was past an area with like a spear thing.
Mm.
I blow it up. I'm about to open the chest, and boom, phantom spawn. I'm like, oh my god, Jesus, that scared me. It was like I had 2 things left to do in the game, and a phantom spawned. I was like,
Oh,
well, I mean,
man.
you're super dead, but why are you here?
Yeah. It's just very satisfying to
Hmm.
kill, I think,
Yeah.
because they stagger so easy and yeah.
Yeah, they were fun. Um. Okay, I'm now curious. How would you rank the? It's four, I think, open world areas. There's Midgard, Alfheim, Midgard Lake, Alfheim Desert, the Vanaheim area, and Svartalheim.
Ooh.
I
I
think.
know that Vanaheim's on the lowest for me, like number
Hmm,
4.
yeah,
Um,
I would go Svartalheim, Alfheim, Midgard. I think they get worse as they go. Actually, now that I'm saying that out loud.
yeah.
But maybe
They get
that's
more dense.
yeah, maybe that was because I played 40 hours in 4 days. Uh,
Yes,
that
that is
could be
actually something I was
possible.
going to mention. Yeah, maybe like, because I'm trying to play it without getting spoiled. I'm trying
Hmm.
to rush the game.
Yeah.
That that probably doesn't help when I'm like, wait not too long. You're not meant to be playing them for 10 hours straight.
Yeah, I played long sessions, but I did play it over a longer period of time. Uh, so I didn't mind the open world sections much. I really enjoyed them. They felt like a nice break.
Nice. Yeah. I
Uh,
think I liked the Midgard, Svartalfheim, and then yeah, the next two I was just kind of. I mean, Alfheim was alright, but Vanaheim, I just walked around in circles in that place because I was looking for
Yeah.
things, and it was
Alfheim gets
just
the
yeah,
bonus of being split in two.
that's true.
yeah,
Yep. And all the Mimir dialogue, I think, just really
Hmm.
helps. I wanted to
mm.
stay around and see what he had to say.
Yeah. By the
Say.
time it was at
It's also dynamic because it starts with the sandstorm and then eventually, it lets
Mm.
up.
Yeah.
by the time it was at the Vanaheim open world area, dialogue started fading and becoming less common.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Um. But either way, I think overall I liked exploring these worlds way more than I liked exploring the lake
Like from the
from the
first game,
first
you
game.
mean,
Yeah,
or?
from the first game.
Really? Okay.
Like
I
I
don't know. I
liked the
found the first
lake,
game.
but there were just
Hmm.
anytime I came across something that was like level 7 and I was like, okay, let's take this guy on. He killed me one hit. I guess I'll come back later.
Did you look
Never
at the
comes
color
back.
of the health
Yeah,
bars?
yeah. But like I wanted to know. I wanted to try cuz I remember
Once you do
specifically
it once, you know.
there's one guy uh there's one guy on the top of one of the like bridge areas on the
The traveler
outskirts.
guy?
I think so. I don't remember exactly, but he was super strong and I encountered him very early. It took me like 20-30 minutes to figure out how to get up where he was cuz there was a puzzle there. Uh and then I
Ah.
never came back to him ever. Because I wanted to explore then. I didn't want to explore at the end of the game. Even by the end of the game, I still probably wasn't strong enough to take him on. Uh, but I think they did a really good job making that work. To where like most of the stuff outside of the berserkers are, you'll level scale with throughout the game. But yes,
What are the berserkers?
after we're
Oh,
done
the
the oh sorry you.
ping people?
Hmm?
Is
What?
that who the berserkers are? Who are the berserkers?
Oh, the Valkyries of this game, berserkers.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Yep,
Yes.
yep, yep.
Hmm.
Uh,
Way in my I did them all. I really enjoyed them because they were like meant to be done like at level. You know what I mean? Like if the Valkyries were like that, where it wasn't like here's 9 to fight now that you beat the game.
yeah, I did one
But
on a.
here are 9 sort of like that are relatively difficult fights as you play through. I think I would have done them. I really like the way that it's like paced. What do you think about that, Will?
I enjoyed the fights, but there were some that were just impossible when I met them at the level I was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Especially the
the
one with the
3.
two.
Oh, the
Oh, is it
2.
3? No,
There's one
yeah.
with 3 and one
There's
with 2.
twins and something? Yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 in
The 2 was harder than the 3.
Svartalfheim, and there's
I don't
3 in
think that one was too
Alfheim.
bad. I think it was the 3 that really just caught me
3
off
was
guard.
tough. Yeah, the 3 I did, and I was like, I'm out.
I mean, I figured out the trick to that one because obviously they all have
Yeah, just the
tricks to them.
names. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and if you like focused on the sisters rather than the one that kept attacking you, it was a much
Mhm,
easier fight.
mhm.
But
Right.
it took me a long time to get there, and I came back after being like just overkilled. I was just
Thankfully,
like, this isn't fun.
Same. I was like, I'm
actually,
not doing this fight at level. I'm coming back at maxed.
Yeah.
see, thankfully, I'm a Blades of Chaos user, so I just hit all three of them at once almost all the time.
Yeah,
It was great.
that's probably a
One of
smart
them
way
wouldn't take
to do
damage
it.
though. Oh well, I guess it doesn't matter because the sisters share health.
They share health, yeah.
Mm.
But yes, after we're done exploring the Vanaheim lands, where nothing's really happening, like to progress the story, we get to go home where nothing bad will ever happen. But
Nope.
first, Atreus gets to go to Niflheim. Wait, is that right?
Helheim.
No, Helheim's earlier.
Sorry, you're right.
Niflheim is the
Niflheim.
cold land.
Yeah.
He gets to go to Niflheim for a little bit to try to look for the mask again.
With the drunken Thor.
Very sad, drunk Thor. Yeah, I love the bar fight scene before that.
That was really fun.
Oh, so good.
And then
So
like
One of the
funny.
best scenes in the game. Yeah.
Yep.
Funny and then like genuinely like
Yeah,
heartfelt
sad.
and yeah,
Yes.
really great.
it's just like a real sad of like she just doesn't she's depressed like
She's just
sad that
done.
her alcoholic father like is back to drinking.
Yeah.
Mm.
We get a mostly sad or mostly good. They get a bonding experience. Him and Atreus, they just bond together, and then at the end, Odin comes
We
in
complete the mask.
he's not letting Atreus live past this point.
Well, he completes the mask, and so instead of giving it to Odin, he uses his teleparty thing from Sindri and goes back
Let's
home.
go.
Not before
Sindri.
Sif trying to convince him that Odin is the problem, convinces him that he should murder Atreus.
Yes, very logical.
Mhm.
But yes, then he gets to go back home. Through the magical portal where Kratos was just waiting on him. It's very sweet. Because that's where Sindri told him he'd end up. And then we get
Oh, that's what I was thinking of
Yeah.
earlier.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But then we get to go back into the house and
Whole
Tyr's
crew's there. We
I
got
don't wanna-
Freyr, Freya, Tyr, Brog, Sindri.
Uh-huh.
We're just celebrating having the mask.
And then Brock starts
Yep.
going a little crazy, like, I don't know about this. I'm like, hey, what's wrong?
He's like, hey, Tyr, why do you have the mask? I don't trust you. You do nothing. We're not giving it to you. No.
Yeah, because Tia starts doing this big speech about, I haven't been very helpful. You guys are showing me what we need to be doing.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take this one, guys. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I know the
and
back
that,
door.
like, to me, like,
I
it
know the
works.
way into
It worked
Asgard.
on me because in the
Mhm.
scene before, when like they were attacked, he like just got there right at the end. Was like, and I didn't even do anything. And all I got was a shield. Like, he was feeling extra useless at the
Yeah.
end there. Like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
be useful.
He was
Man, they
building
got me
that,
completely with
yeah.
that. I didn't suspect a thing.
Neither did
Yeah.
I.
Same.
Neither did I.
But Brock, smarter than
And
us
then
all.
Brock being true. True to his nature.
Yeah.
Uh,
He just calls him out. He's like, no, give it back. And
Give it back. Why are you calling
gets
him Loki?
stabbed by Tyr. Who is Thor? Or Thor?
yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Whoa!
He's really drunk. Gets stabbed by
Odin
Odin.
was never real. It was actually Thor. Who was the mastermind all alone. Odin, Odin was fake.
Oh.
I will say I couldn't be emotionally like really sad at that point because I was popping off at Kratos landing a hit with his spear
Oh, that was
on
so
the
good.
mask before he could leave. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
I know
no.
you guys want me to be sad that Brock just died, but you can't have Kratos do that.
But like,
Like,
it's so
that's
too
good
cool.
because it's the spear,
I
which he
was-
wouldn't have without Brock.
Yeah.
I was bawling my eyes out, so I
Wow.
missed that.
Oh, really?
I missed the
Man.
mask. Yes, I missed it. I had to rewatch it because I was like, wait, how do we still have the mask? Like, I was so confused. I thought he'd walked through the door with it, and I was like, and yeah. Oh.
I was
God.
just popping off from Kratos being so cool and just
It-
hitting that. But I was like,
Yeah.
man, I want to cry, This is really sad.
Hmm.
This sucks.
But this
I
is also
love Brock,
hype.
but that was so cool. I can't feel it. Why'd you put that there?
Yeah, it was just done so well. Like Sindri begging Freya, like, I know he's right there and you can kill him, but I need your
Mhm.
help, like, please. And
Mhm.
just so good.
Yeah. Just that whole
And
scene and I
and
love.
Brock telling him like, "Listen, I know what you did.
Oh yeah.
Please
Mm.
just let it go." Like, not that, because he's only 3/4 of a soul, he's not going to the light of Alfheim. By the
Yeah.
understandings of like Norse mythology, afterlife,
Yeah,
there is no
Mimir puts it in
afterlife
the most plain text
for.
ever later.
Yeah,
Like,
there
we
is
can't
no
do anything.
afterlife for him
We'd have done
I know.
something if we
He
because
doesn't
could.
soften that pillow at all.
yeah, Atreus asks like, "Can we do anything for Brock?" He's like, "No. If there was, we would do it."
And
Um,
all those thoughts were going through my head straight away. I was like, okay, this is where we're gonna go to Alfheim, or to the river or wherever the lake, and grab all the rest of his soul. Yeah,
it's funny because for me, I never even thought about saving him because
No, I didn't either.
if that was the idea, then
that
why
was the
didn't we
whole
save
point, right?
Frey?
Of
You know what
letting
I
him
mean?
go. Yeah,
Like if
yeah.
if we're gonna go in and save Brock, then why not go and save Frey or
Or
other,
Faye.
Faye? Thank you.
Oh,
Sorry,
oh, sorry. I thought you were
that's what
talking
I
about
meant.
Freyr, and then I
No,
was
no,
like,
Faye,
yeah,
Faye,
okay.
Faye. Because like the whole point of the first game is like, you know, Faye is dead.
Mm.
Let's go on a journey together and bond and not learn about our destinies and totally get manipulated into doing all this.
Yeah.
Um, but you know, it didn't make sense to me to have them try to bring him back. I'm glad he only had three quarters of his soul, so that there wasn't any way he could be
Yeah.
brought back. It
Hmm.
felt like it wouldn't really work with the rest of the story they were telling.
No, I think it was really consistent. It was just
Yeah.
my first like reaction to be like,
Oh no, for sure.
Yeah.
please, please, we can do
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
5 stages of
I mean,
grief.
yeah. I think
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
everyone's like gut reaction, including the characters. Are like, what can we do?
Well, even like when his colors started draining and he started turning like red, like not blue, I was just like, oh my god, he really is dead. Oh my god. And then Sindri's just out.
Yeah,
He's
I
taking
love
his
that
buddies,
is the
gone.
first time we see them actually teleport away on screen.
Hmm.
Because every other time
Mm,
in both games has been they walk off screen and then poof, they're gone.
a wipe. Yeah.
And they're just yeah.
Ugh, it's so good. And I just gotta say, I hated Sindri in the first game. I thought he was annoying and not funny, and that's all he had.
Yeah.
And now he's a really, really good character. Even before
He
I'm
was good
Brock's
from the
so
death.
start because of Atreus,
Yes.
like their relationship and him helping him. So from
yeah.
the start of this game, he was good.
Hmm.
By the end, he was way
Absolutely.
better.
Yeah.
I am 100% with you because I also like in the first game I was like, ugh, you're annoying. Like I don't really care for you much. I
Give me
still
Brock.
liked him. Uh, yeah, I way preferred Brock, and he was
They really
he
put
was
us in
talking about
Kratos'
someone,
shoes.
We are the god
right?
of war.
Yeah, yeah,
Go
just
ahead,
amazing
sorry.
to make me really like Sindri's character at the end of it.
Hmm.
Just wow, just unexpected.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a big ask, and they did
Yeah,
it.
no, it really is. And like his character is actually so pivotal to my enjoyment of that game. I'm just like, how masterpiece to be
Yeah,
able to do that. Yeah.
and then them eventually, going back like home to
Yeah.
grieve and Midgard and
In the
running
Mm.
direction
into
of Deer,
Sindri.
which I really
Uh,
like that callback.
yeah,
And like
with
just
What was
like
that, sorry?
hunting and all that.
when they get back there and they're like, okay, let's hunt, and they say the line of I forgot. I think it's I can't remember who says what, but it's where are we going? Or like which way are we going? And the
Kratos says, "Where are
others,
we going?"
I thought they switched it up the other way because that's how it was in
Well,
the
isn't
first
that the
game.
point?
No, I thought it was the other way.
No.
Because in
Oh,
the
okay.
first game, in the very first, the very first game, uh, in the last
The
game,
very
God of
first
War
God of
7,
War.
uh, the like one of the first lines is Atreus saying to Kratos, "Which way to the deer?" and Kratos just says, "In the direction of deer."
Oh yes, yes.
And
So
I
good.
think
Great
I
callback.
believe they reverse it to where it's the other
Right,
way.
yeah. Meaning Kratos asking like which way are we going, and then
No, I think it's the other way.
that would be the
No, I
reverse.
think
Would be
Lucius.
Kratos
I think
asking which way, and then him saying
And
in
then
the way of deer.
Atreus
That would be
saying
the
the way of
reverse of
deer.
what you just
That's
said.
the way it happened in the first game, isn't it?
You
No,
just said it the other way.
and I say it the
I
other
think
way.
you both
Look,
agree.
we're 3 hours into this thing. I agree with you. Let's move on.
But they
But
run into Brock, and Sindri's like, "You took everything
no,
from me."
no. They immediately have that conversation of going, "We're just running away." Like that's right when they're hunting. They have that talk, which I really love, where the two
Oh, yeah. He stops him from
The
hunting.
he
baby
stops him from
deers?
shooting the deer at the end. It's just like, okay, what
Oh.
are we doing?
Yes.
Why are we doing this?
Mm.
And it's just we're running away from the problem. And then we go see Brock.
Did we see
Yeah.
the baby bears there too?
Yes, we do.
No, that's at the beginning.
No, we do.
Oh.
No, we do.
Is it? Oh, okay.
It's when you go hunting.
Oh, I thought it was at the beginning of the game.
No, because this is Atreus seeing the result of his, again, like the consequences of his
Oh,
actions.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
now
okay,
facing
okay.
it for the first time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, just punch a man while he's down. Just kick him
Yeah.
in the guts.
exactly. He's already feeling it. Let's just remind him. You also took away
Yeah,
these
the
cubs'
horrible-
mother,
Yeah.
so just remember that too. Sindri's pissed because, hey, I invited you into my home. I gave you everything: weapons, armor, drop near, food, shelter, everything you could ask for and more. Never asked for anything in return. And now my brother is dead.
He broke my heart.
Yeah.
Sindri just broke my heart. I was just like, man. Yeah.
It's just
Yep.
like
It was
Yeah,
it was like,
you
yeah,
want to
no,
say yeah,
fair.
but and then you can't say anything though.
No, I was
You
like,
wanna
yeah,
reference
he's
it.
right. Like,
Mhm.
They did do everything for them.
Mhm.
Like, would Brock want him to do this? No.
No.
But, like,
Brock would
Sindri's
do
Sindri.
it. Brock would do it.
Even. Yeah. Exactly.
Probably.
Yes.
Maybe.
I think he
It's
would.
questionable. I would
I feel like
think.
Brock would be pissed and then get over it. He would be over it faster than Sindri.
He would actually go get that army.
True.
Well, yeah.
But like even how Sindri looks, like he's just
Sindri looks deranged.
he's not
Oh, yeah, I
cleaning
love
himself
his, like,
anymore. For a germaphobe,
quick redesign.
like he's still got his brother's blood on him. Like
His eyes are bloodshot.
his hair's all messy. Like he's gone. He's done.
And like he never
Well,
teleports off screen again. Anytime he teleports is on screen.
Yeah. And I like that too
Right.
with like, it's almost like he doesn't let the feeling of the spirits of Alfheim or whatever bother him anymore because he just doesn't care.
Mhm.
He's just given up.
Mhm.
And yeah, I don't know. It's like with Brock there, he let it bother him because he cared about life, but now he just doesn't. And so it just doesn't bother him,
Yeah. What else has he got to lose, really?
Right. So even if he feels like there's fingers on him all the time, who cares? Whatever. Brother's dead. I love Sindri ends it with like saying something to the effect of, I gave you everything and now you took my family too. And as they leave, Atreus says to Kratos, I thought we were his family.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my god.
And Kratos says, we were.
Yeah.
It's just, it's so good. It's like, yeah, no, we were family, but things change. And
Yeah.
if he's saying we aren't right now, then you gotta respect that, It was really good.
Yeah.
So good. Just the emotions they really just were able to draw out, unmatched.
Yeah.
And then immediately, as they get out on the bridge, they both decide, okay, revenge. Or we have to go. I would forget the line, but Frey's like, we have to go stop him or whatever. And Kratos like, no, this is vengeance.
No, they said it's justice.
That's what it is.
We have to
Oh,
go get
yeah.
justice, and he said,
Like,
"This is not
no.
justice. This is vengeance."
And then he has like that little. He's kind of just talking to himself of like, everything. And no matter what I do, it always leads back to vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like, yeah, this like he doesn't want to be doing this, but like he's not going to not do it.
It's your thing, bro. It's you're a god of it for a reason.
Like he killed Brock. We have to go get him.
It's like the blades, my guy. They just come back.
But and then we have the we have the let's go to Freya and like let's get the army. Everyone's got their guy to get. Sindri's gonna get the dwarves. Mimir is gonna go help the pig thing, which we forgot to mention.
Sweeney.
Yeah, we forgot to mention him.
Oh yeah.
Completely. He was there, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
We also forgot to mention Brock's friend, I think.
Lunda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah, she was one of the people in Freyr's
I'll be honest,
camp.
Freyr's camp's gang kind of forgettable. Like they were there.
Really?
Like
I liked everyone
I
but
remember
bigger.
them. I didn't dislike any of them. They were just kind of,
I thought Lunda and the
I don't
elves were good.
I don't like this lady nearly as much as Brock or Sindri.
Well, yeah,
She's
neither
fine.
does she.
Yeah.
That's fair. You know what? You made a good point. But she's cool. But everyone's gonna go their own thing. We're gonna go get Ragnarock.
Yeah, everyone go get armies. We'll get the big guy.
And then like we get to see one of the coolest designed characters in the game. I love his character model.
Yeah, Surtur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like just
a
Surtur's
fire
character model
giant
is
with
so
an
good.
ice heart.
Mhm.
That way, his
Mm.
lover Sinmara has his heart, so they can always feel close together, even if they are far apart.
And he's like, "Hey, I don't want to do this. That would kill her. No." And Kratos is just like, "Okay, that's fine."
I will be
nothing we
Ragnarok.
can do. He's been in love twice.
Said Kratos.
He's been in love. Nothing they can do. Nothing he can do. And then on the way out, Surtur's just like, "Hey, wait, what are those things you got there? What are those really hot looking swords? You just put them in here, and that should work. Those are."
His blades have primordial fire in them.
Yeah, because like even in the first game, Freya said you need like no blaze, no fire in all the 9 realms could create a blaze in Helheim, which it would
Right.
by that line include Surtur, so it's even hotter than that. So put him in there, and then poof, big guy, and then we get to go to the coolest room in the whole game.
It's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just that whole design. Again, that was probably my trailer thing. Not even the Valkyries showing up there. Just that room.
Can't
Looks
believe
so
they
cool.
showed that.
Yeah, neither at this point. I wish they didn't. Everything else I can deal with, even the dogs. That's the one thing I wish they didn't show. But still, getting that double Valkyrie fight was very cool.
That was very
yeah.
cool. That was a fun fight.
It was definitely a very much like a getting to show how much more powerful you are through gameplay. Like obviously
Right.
they're weaker than the old Valkyries, but in the narrative,
But canonically, that makes sense
they're
too.
about the same
like,
strength,
yeah, exactly.
and you're
Well,
stronger.
narratively, I think they'd be a bit weaker,
A little,
right? Like
yeah,
they
I
aren't
guess.
the Valkyries. They aren't Freya's Valkyries.
Fair.
Mm.
You know, though I'm sure her Valkyries took a long time to put together.
Well, it took like the day.
Really?
Remember, she kind of just left and was like, "I'm gonna go with the Valkyries and get them corporeal," and then they were there.
No. Like to form them in the first place.
Okay, I thought you meant like remaking them into corporeal forms.
No.
That took a day.
Like-
Mm-hmm.
Right. No, I know that.
Okay.
I'm just saying the time she spent forming them the first time
Mhm.
would have been much greater than the amount of time they have spent reforming the Valkyries since she has left.
Fair. But still, that fight and that whole segment was very cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then it's the end, and then it's the big finale. which I think lived up to everything, like 2 games worth of setup.
Yeah. What did
Yeah.
you think of that part, Will? Like,
Yeah, like running through and
Yeah, just the whole
Through the
yeah,
Ragnarok
wall?
the
segment.
final like Asgard siege.
yeah, I thought it was I thought it was really well done. I had no issues with it really. I did feel like I was like, should I be fighting? Should I be running? Like I wasn't
Mhm.
sure what I should be
Yeah,
doing.
Fair.
that's fair.
Yeah, it
Yeah, I liked it finally
was well.
being able to get to play as the bear. As
Oh
Atreus.
yeah! Oh my God, how did I forget about that part? Yes,
Oh
yes,
yeah,
that was very good.
and it's the save Sindri
Mhm.
too.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't forgive you or
No.
care.
And,
Yeah.
like, I love that Sindri just comes in and is like, no dwarves are dying for this.
Yeah, he's like, I brought
I
this.
oh,
Bang, bang, bang. Goodbye.
I honestly think like after Brock, I pretty much was just not crying, but like kind of weepy through the whole thing. And then
Oh.
Sindri just going on his rants through the whole through the war. I was just like,
Mm.
"Yep, I deserve it. Yep, yep, yep. Whatever. I'm the worst. I know." And then yeah, and then when he does that to the what are the people like the humans?
Einherjar?
What's their town?
Oh,
No,
Oh,
the humans there, the
yeah,
Midgardians.
the Midgardians outside the wall. I want to say I
oh
called the
yes,
fact that they were there to stop, like
intentional.
they were intentionally put in front of the wall to stop people who would care about accidentally killing them. Like I called that the
Yeah.
second they showed that town. I have that recorded.
Right next to the wall, like,
Mm. That's suspicious.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, and then so Sindri just doing that and
mm,
just nothing.
yeah.
Wow.
And then it's like, oh, we gotta stop Ragnarok now. Oh, and hey, there's Jormungandr somehow.
Yeah, that was nuts.
At least he's taking care of Thor for a little while.
Loki brought the giants.
Yeah.
He brought Jormungandr.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Angrboda.
And Angrboda.
True.
And Fenrir. He's there. Being
Oh,
cute.
true.
Being
Yeah.
cute little
That
doggy.
boy.
Yeah, we gotta stop them.
I really liked the speech between like Kratos and Atreus. Like as you know, Ragnarok is at the battle, and the
Oh yeah, he
decision
said
of
that.
like Ragnarok's gonna attack the wall, and if Ragnarok attacks the wall, the people will be killed, right? And Atreus is like, we can't do that. We can't just sacrifice all these people. That's what he's thinking, at least. But then, he listens to what Kratos said in his speech prior to the war, or prior to the going.
We forgot about that.
And
Yeah, we've got about
yeah,
the tent moment.
yeah.
Yeah, you finish. What
And
you're
he
saying, and we'll
says,
get back to
Kratos had said something to the effect of like, in war, you have to make sacrifices, right? And so Atreus says, well, it's war, we have to make sacrifices, and Kratos is like, you know what? No. Forget I said that. I'm sorry. I was wrong.
Yeah, it's like when in the first
Yeah.
game when he was like, "Yeah, we're gods, we're cool, we're the coolest," and then Atreus murdered a guy.
Yeah, except that was much more like,
A little bit more dramatic, but it was still the
well,
same.
no,
yeah.
but it
thing of
felt
hearing
more
his
like
son
age
say it.
appropriate. Like it was much more
Yeah.
like, oh my god, my kid is absolutely insane. But
But it's
it
still the
was like
same
something
thing,
a
like,
kid would say.
It's still the
But
same
now he's
basic thing of
older.
hearing
He
his,
understands more.
hearing his
He's
kids
more
say
emotionally.
it made him realize
Yeah.
he didn't want his kids to say it. Therefore, did he want to be
He's
saying
like, I
it?
didn't raise this kid a Spartan. Why am I making him fight like one?
Mhm.
Also, I don't know when it is, but I think it was when he's talking to Freya in that one scene when she's a bird. When he's like talking like, I specifically did not want to raise him as a Spartan.
Yes. Yeah.
Wanted to keep him away from that. But let's go back to the campfire scene.
Yeah. Let's rewind a
Forgot
little.
about that. That was great.
Mhm.
I was so like
So good.
sweet. When he was like, "Can I sleep here?" It was so sad.
That
Well,
was
and
cute.
so just right before that, when
The
Sigurd
mirror.
is like, "Hey, can I grab
Oh,
the
yeah.
mirror off you?" I was like, "Yay!"
Yeah, I was like, wait,
Good.
Sigurd's right there, and Mimir's here. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Get away, Mimir.
And I liked the two of them
Go,
at the end.
chew.
Be like, they had something back in the day, but now he's ahead, and it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
But they still care about each other.
He's
Yeah.
my head now,
Yeah,
Sigrun.
yeah, mine. I keep him.
We have a thing now. He's my brother. So, sorry.
Oh,
You
you
know
guys were
what?
possessive of Mimir.
Of course.
No,
Yeah,
I was
he's
like,
my new head laser.
I want you to know if there is a sequel
Oh yeah.
and it
That's
does not have Mimir, I will not play it. Period.
I mean,
I think they would
I say
upset
that
a
now.
lot
I
of
would,
people.
in fact, probably play it, but
I will play it.
You probably would,
I'm gonna be
yeah.
very upset about it.
Because
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
mythology they go into, I'll be excited to play.
But yeah, that whole camp scene was great, and we haven't talked about Faye at all,
Mhm.
and I've loved all of her dream sequences.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we haven't even talked about her. Yeah. They were really important too, and then telling
Grumbles.
him.
Oh yeah, her
Yeah.
calling him Grumbles was like sweet. Like they made
Yeah.
them work. There's always that worry of like, can you? You've talked about it so much. Can you make it work? I think this is gonna be a side bit of a tangent. But there's the show How I Met Your Mother, and they spent 8 seasons building up to. Is the main character gonna have good chemistry with with the mother? And thankfully it does work. But like, what if they spent 8 seasons building up and it didn't work? Or like in this case, what if they spent the entire first game building up Faye and the two of them didn't have good scenes together? Like,
Yeah.
they could have gone very wrong very easily just by showing her at all, and I think they made it work perfectly. They made it better than it was.
Yeah, I agree.
I like
Also-
how
Thank you.
it felt like she sort of, she certainly had an agenda.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
With everything she did. But
Yes,
But
that's a good point.
it was because
She also
cared
cared.
about she cared about Kratos
Yeah.
and Atreus, and that's why she
Right.
had the
Mhm.
agenda. Maybe not at first, but at some
I
point.
think, yeah, I mean, we don't see the
Yeah,
point
it's
where
a
she
lot
doesn't.
of it. A lot of it is implied, and the biggest point of it is that we don't know, and Kratos doesn't know,
Mhm.
and will never know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like I think at some point he like quietly there's something they're talking about. He'll go to something, and Mimir's. I think it's in the first game even. I'm not sure, but or maybe early this game, but where Mimir is like, no, don't even think about it. She cared about she loved you. I think it might have been Alfheim or something, but either way, I liked that dialogue of
I think that was Vanaheim,
Vanaheim? Okay.
where he didn't know about the fight with Thor,
Oh, you're right. Okay, that's right. And they
and
actually
he was
talk
like
about that feeling.
questioning
Yeah.
why she wouldn't have told him and
Why didn't
everything.
she tell me? And top of everything else, she didn't tell me.
Right.
And so he has to wonder: did she really care? If she just sought him out due to prophecy?
Mhm.
But I think they really made it work. Yeah, she loved him. She loved
Yeah.
Grumbles.
Yeah, I think that's undeniable.
I was watching a streamer play the game.
God knows
and
how.
He was like, "What does she see in him? Like, what does she see
Muscles.
in Kratos?" And he's like, and then
Fair.
immediately after that, she said, "Oh, come on, Grumbles." He was like, "Oh yeah, I see. Okay." But yeah, after the outside wall part, we get to the inside of the wall, and we got to fight Thor again for realsies this time. And Kratos doesn't kill him.
Well, so because Atreus is friends with Thrud,
Oh,
and
you're right,
Thrud has joined their cause, and he does not want to kill
Yeah.
Atreus' friend's father.
Yeah.
And,
I
yeah,
don't think
he's
he would have killed him anyways, but that's
No,
definitely part
but
of it.
like specifically, that is why.
Specifically, yeah. Hey, our kids are friends. Why would I
Right.
think killing you would be bad?
And he was also like, I like her.
Yeah, like, hey, she's
Yeah.
a good kid.
And then Thor's like, yeah, okay. That's
She
fine.
fights well.
Oh no, I'm dead.
Oh,
Bye,
geez.
Thor.
Thanks, Dad. And then Odin, how could you let me do this, Kratos?
Yeah, that was
Oh,
so
yeah.
good.
This is your
That
fault,
was so
Kratos.
good. He's like, I don't know, the like full reveal of who he really is. of
Yes.
just
Yep.
like
That's really good.
it wasn't my fault I just killed my son. I just stabbed him. That's your fault, not mine. And
I mean,
blaming everything on
that's
everyone
kind of the deal
else.
with Balder, right?
Hmm.
Is like it's the same thing,
Like just
but it's very good.
I'm very happy the final boss was Odin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like, and it definitely worked. I thought I liked the mechanics of it and everything. Man,
Yeah,
I
there's
really
even
liked that final boss.
yeah, because I guess when Kratos doesn't kill Thor, and
Mm-hmm.
then Odin's like, don't think that's your first
Mm-hmm.
mistake. He's using all the lines that Thor was using on Atreus
Mm-hmm.
before, like really hammering in home that Thor's the way he is because Odin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Wow.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
Huh.
like
I
you can very specifically pinpoint most of all bad things in this entire realm to him in particular.
oh yeah.
Probably, yeah.
I did really like the resolution to the fight
Mm-hmm. The
where
like Atreus getting the choice, and Kratos just going, "It is your choice. You get to
well
pick."
that yeah, but also past that. But
Ah,
yeah, that's very good.
yes, you can.
But Odin is defeated and uh Atreus doesn't kill him and Kratos doesn't kill him and Kratos says, I Freya, I promised you I would not take the choice of life and
Mm.
death away from you again.
True,
So it
yep.
is up to you what to do. And after his little souls in a marble, uh,
They've they've all moved past the need for vengeance.
yeah, she's like,
Hmm.
They've
well, I
all
don't know,
gone
I'm
through
here
their
and I don't
journey.
really want to do anything. And then Sindri pops in, grabs the marble, and smashes it.
Bye bye.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, all
Hell
right, good.
It's like,
yeah.
yeah,
Glad
okay,
he's not
yeah.
coming back. Glad Odin's dead. He shouldn't have been left alive. Like, that should not have been an open end. It needed to happen from someone.
Like
I'm glad it was
the one
Sindri.
person whose vengeance
It
is
would
still
have felt
fresh.
unsatisfying if no one killed him,
Mhm.
right? Like if Odin was just left in that
Like
marble.
from a
I think so.
What would you guys have thought about the ending?
like if
If
he
Sindri
would
didn't
no,
come in and pop it.
I think the answer is, well, one, there's no other way that could have happened, but two, in this theoretical world, I think the answer would have been they talked about it with a bunch of people for a couple days until they all decided, yeah, just smash it.
That's fair.
And
Yeah.
all of them
I
smashed it
I
and they're like,
think
okay, he's gone now, I guess.
mm, I think it could have been like the trope of, oh, there's a possibility someone will pull him back out of the marble, or like
Yeah.
it's open ended, that kind of thing.
Right. Like if
Yeah, so
Angrboda
I'm glad.
and can pull it out, then why can't someone else who learns their magic,
Yeah,
Yes. Very happy
yeah.
we just went
So
bye bye.
yeah, I'm
Dead.
But
glad it was over and done with. Yeah.
but yes, and then we've gotten to the almost ending. We had to play as Atreus walking up the hill, saying goodbye to everybody.
Did
Mhm.
we
Oh,
talk about Freyr
oh yeah,
and
Freyr.
Angerboda?
Oh no, we didn't.
We
Yeah.
talked a little about Angerboda.
Freyr
But
stops Ragnarok single-handed. Like
yeah,
like the
no, don't forget his
Ragnarok
sword.
the entity.
Can't forget Ingrid.
Huh? Well, okay,
Huh.
yes. Ingrid, his sword.
Oh,
Uh,
I loved that actually. Like
yeah.
Oh
when you
yeah,
see
I
people
remember.
waving his around. Yeah.
Yeah, someone came into chat and was like, "Where's Freyr's sword?" When we were on the boat, I remember. I was like,
Aw.
"Yeah, you know what? Well, that's a good point. Freyr doesn't have his sword. What happened to it?"
Oh, you know that from the
No, yeah,
mythology, of
mythology.
course.
The Freyr sword is super important. He gave it
Ah.
up. Like, he dies in Ragnarok because he doesn't have his sword in mythology. Because he
Oh.
gave it up
Oh.
to someone who was like, "Okay, I will go convince the woman you've fallen in love with to marry you." Or, well, no, let's change it. He saw this one woman from really far away. Was like, "I'm going to cry and sob until I can marry her." Here, you, I
Okay.
forget who. Here's my sword. Go get her and to marry me. And he does. But then he dies in
As you
Ragnarok
do.
because he doesn't have the sword. Um,
Mm.
But in this, the woman was Odin.
Yeah, did you ever
And
have the
so,
conversation of how he lost the sword?
yeah, I did catch that. Did you have that, Will?
No.
They have
Freya
Mimir.
talks
Yeah. Oh,
about like
Freyr.
Mimir's
Yeah.
like, Freya, how did Freyr lose his sword? And she's like, well, the story Agro just told, but the woman was Odin in disguise,
Oh my
seducing him
He gave
god.
up the sword
to get
immediately.
his sword. Like he
Oh.
promised that the only time he would ever give up Ingrid was, if he like, died or
Met
fell in
his
love.
lover or yeah,
Exactly,
yeah,
like met
yeah.
the love of his life.
Ah,
And
jeez.
so
And
he
that's why
willingly
he
like gave
has
up the
it.
sword.
Yes.
And the only way you can lose Ingrid apparently is if you willingly give it up.
Uh-huh.
So that was how he got tricked into giving it up.
Oh, he is such a ooh
Yeah.
evil person. Trick your own son. Oh
Yeah.
man.
I did love him. Like when he got it, he flew with it.
Yes, I loved that so much. I was like, whoa, cool.
Yeah. Him
Not
just getting
knowing
it
anything
back. It's
about the
like,
mythology.
yeah, same. I
Yeah.
didn't know that was like the mythological tale of it. That's cool.
Mm.
Yeah, it's that whole ending sequence is so great, and then when we get the end,
Mm.
Atreus gets to say goodbye to all his friends, and it's sad. And like it's all sad and stuff, but then we get my favorite scene in the game, which is him and Kratos and Atreus saying goodbye. That's the scene that got me to cry. When Kratos cried, I cried.
Really?
That is the one
Did
time
I
I
Kratos
cried
cry
in
in the tent though too?
not really. I don't think so.
Yes.
No, he didn't.
No, he did.
He was telling the story of death
I don't think
and
he
the
cried.
man, right?
He does.
And then I think he does
Oh,
because he
I didn't
realizes his
notice.
son, like after all his hard work of trying to avoid war and trying to grow his baby away from all of that kind of lifestyle, he's going to war with his son. And then he didn't even finish his story. His son was asleep.
Okay, well, I didn't notice that, so I cried when I noticed Kratos. But like, yeah, him, like they do the head touch thing, and then,
That was sweet.
like they do the head touch thing, and then Kratos starts to cry and says Loki goes. And then touches his heart and says Atreus stays.
Oh,
And then they
that was
hug,
sweet.
and it's so
Yeah.
sad.
Hmm.
And I'm almost crying now. That's the best scene in the game.
I mean, yeah, it's all really emotional. Even when he wakes up and he's like, "Is that my mom?" Oh, does he think it's his mom? And then it's one of the Valkyries or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
yeah,
That was a really weirdly
Yeah.
shot scene. It looked like live action. I was like,
yeah,
what
it
is
was.
this? It
It
was?
That
was.
would have been weird, didn't it?
Okay, I
I
thought
think.
so. I was
Oh
like, what in the
No,
world?
no. I don't mean that. I agree with you. It was
Oh,
weird.
Like
It was
weird.
live
Oh, I
action
gotcha, I
feeling.
gotcha.
Yeah.
FMV
Yeah, I was
ending
like,
of the
what
game.
the hell is this?
Uh,
And then I think even him talking to Mimir for me was quite like
mhm.
emotional because he's like, yeah, you're like my dad as well,
Yeah.
That was cute. I like
Yeah.
that.
Oh
And
yeah, and just on that, like other moments when he was talking about talking to girls, and Mimir's like, "Oh,
oh yeah.
you talking to girls?" Yeah.
Uh,
He's like, "You even need to talk to someone about it." I was just like, "Ah,
Yeah.
so good."
I think like
There,
doesn't Kratos
there are
or
moments in the post game where if you go back to the realm between realms, like Sindri and Brock's house,
Mhm.
and Atreus's room, uh,
Mhm.
Kratos asks Mimir after splitting up in the epilogue, um, did did I teach Atreus enough? Like, and he's like, to survive? Like, yeah, brother, you taught him enough. He's like, no, I mean like to love. Like, did I teach him well enough that he can have like a relationship?
Aw.
And he's like, well, brother, I took care of that for you. He's like,
So good.
I fielded those questions.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, him. I did like the off-screen, like or not off-screen, but the bit we couldn't hear of him saying goodbye to Angerboda. Again,
Yeah, that was
time to
Mhm.
steal from another podcast, number 3. The director said, in the interview that for that scene in particular, they just put the two of them away, put the camera far away from them, and just said, "Okay, ad lib. No, you're not going to hear anything. Pretend you two, you're going off to separate colleges after spending your whole life together."
That's a good one.
Uh,
Aw, it's really well done too,
mhm.
because it does feel like that. It does feel like, the friendly chat before, well, it'll be a while, I'll see you
Yeah,
later.
Mhm.
but they're both happy for each other to be doing what they're
Hmm.
doing. Like it's so good. And then he's gone, and Kratos gets to go open up the back of the thing, and like I think he cries again, or almost cries. And that like I love that
Well, he
little bit.
sees like a
Right.
new path for the
Mhm.
first time, like a path
Yeah.
of building and not destruction.
Hmm.
For a god of war, you know.
Yeah,
Which,
and
in all
again,
God
fairness,
of
like
that's
there are
War?
gods of war. Like Athena is a god of war, but you know, she's not
and
known for destruction and all that. Like you can be a god of
Mm-hmm.
war and be productive.
Mm-hmm.
He just
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been.
another fun fact. They weren't sure what the exact final thing Kratos is gonna say would be there. And then when they picked like a new path or a path as I think that's his last line before credits roll. Um,
Ah, nice.
and they were like it's short, simple, and it happens to be we've had the path is the quest line thing. The main
Uh,
quest line
Oh,
is the path.
nice.
They found a new path. I love the ending so much. The last like 5 minutes are like incredible.
are very
Oh yeah.
good.
Um, and we get to go down the
Speaking
hill.
of,
We get to say goodbye,
mhm.
and then we get the end. You get to go do anything you want. World
Yeah,
open.
It was
go.
just,
Woo!
it was
Mhm.
so well done. Like
Yeah.
it felt like what would happen. It felt believable.
Yeah.
And it left it open whether I wanted to close the game down or, continue. It
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
was good. Turn the game
Oh.
off and have a cry. I don't know. No.
Pretty much did right there. Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
Uh,
then
I know at least Whale and I continued far enough to make
look,
it to
okay,
the actual
I did
credit
a lot of
scroll.
good stuff. I did that too.
Exactly.
Aggro
I
was
did that
like,
too.
"Oh, I'll just go to YouTube, I
I didn't.
guess."
I did it in game. I did it in game.
Starting
Now,
in.
Yeah, like I mean, it's like 3 hours ago at this
when
Wait,
did
you
point.
you
If you
beat
watched
the
it
think about
on?
it,
game?
actually, it's like 4 hours ago. If you think about it, really.
When
Uh,
did you beat the
Plenty of
game
time.
prior to that? When did you beat the main path?
the 5 days after 4 days after the game came out.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So, like,
So all that was
Look,
unresolved.
okay, I don't look.
2
I
or
don't.
3
I'm not.
weeks,
I don't like collectible hunting. Okay, nothing makes
It's
me more
not even
bored
collectible
than
hunting. You just
collectible
go
Yeah,
hunting.
to a
what?
you
I go to one
literally can
area.
go to a blacksmith. She's like, "Hey, we're holding a funeral for Brock."
Okay, that scene. I wanted to save that for the end. I intended to plat the game, and I wanted to save that for my very final scene. That's why it took
Okay,
so
that's
long.
fair.
And then
That's
I
understandable.
realized I was not going to plat it, probably at all, if we're being honest, but definitely not before this podcast. So I did it.
Right.
That was also a very good scene. I like that. Like Sindri is okay with Kratos, Mimir, and Freya being there. He even lights Freya's bow on fire, but he doesn't he doesn't forgive
Not
Kratos
gonna
yet.
No, he's
vocally
not
say
all the way
anything.
okay.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah.
just not gonna like. I was shocked
Like
he let
he's
Kratos hold his body.
yes, he's okay for Brock. Like it's not he knows like
True.
that's not about him. That's
Mm-hmm.
for
That's
Brock.
fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Kratos
yeah, yeah.
was Brock's family.
Hmm. And
Yeah, I
then
think maybe even like given a little bit of time in between everything happening,
Mhm.
that was okay. I don't think right after would have been okay. Or
right.
during the Ragnarok war, he was really angry.
No.
Like I don't think it would have been okay then.
No.
Hmm. And I
But
really
after this
like
time.
you know, for so long, Mimir had been trying to figure out like, what the hell is Brock's riddle? He's the smartest man alive, and he can't
Yeah.
figure out a riddle from this little idiot who just can't stop swearing and yelling and everything. And finally, the final line in the game is it's a hole.
Mm-hmm.
The more you uh the more you dig, the deeper it gets. Like the more you take away, the bigger it gets.
Mm-hmm.
Which is obviously, a reference to
Yeah.
Sindri, the hole in his heart.
Yep.
So it's very, very well done.
That's so well done.
It's like
It just really
that
is.
open-ended riddle too for like the whole game, which sort of sits in the back of your mind. You're like, what is the answer? You know?
I got
Yeah,
it
and
while
like
I was
once
watching
Brock
it.
dies, if you
Well,
Did you
think
playing it.
about,
really?
oh,
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I was like, it's a hole! It's a hole! And then we got to the end. We got to the end and I had forgotten about it. And then he was like,
someone
oh, I
smart.
figured it out. I was like, yes!
Like my assumption
But
was,
also sad.
Brock's dead. The point is, we'll never know. We'll
I
never
mean,
know the
that's
answer for
also
sure.
a very good one.
But then it was
But yeah.
sadder. Uh, but there's still a
But he
couple
is the
other
smartest
things,
man.
including yeah, there's some Asgard pieces floating about. You gotta go around. You gotta go around to some of them. Oh, look at that one. That one's nice. What's at the bottom of it? Tyr.
Oh, yeah!
Real
Actual
Tyr is
tier.
alive.
That was
Yeah.
really cool.
It's a prison in Helheim? Which one is
Niflheim,
which
right
one
next
is
to
the
the
bird
Ravens.
one?
Nifl. Yeah.
Niflheim.
And
Go ahead, yeah.
there you go. You go.
Just it's, a prison where he kept all of the people who he took on the forms of.
Yeah, and
Yes,
like the
So
makes
realization
so
there
much
that
cool.
whoever
sense.
he was like whoever he was transforming into had to be alive.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So hence
Mm-hmm.
why like I think there was like a female like elf there or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be like the person who he seduced what's it called? Freyr with,
Or just there
you
was just
know.
some
Oh,
dwarf
of
that seemed
course.
important, I believe.
Hmm?
Like there was just
Right.
some dwarf there. Could have been anyone. There
Yes.
was a
Yeah.
couple people. Uh,
Yeah, there
but
were.
yeah, Tyr's there, still alive.
That was so cool.
That was
And I
like,
didn't even click until like the door in front of me and I went, oh, it's Tyr.
yeah. I didn't expect anything. I figured, oh, when they mentioned, oh, there might be something important there. I went, oh, there's probably
No,
a legendary chest.
I I'll pull it up. But yeah, I think in the scroll there was something about there being like an important, like it being really important to guard the prison.
Right.
Yeah, rally your forces
This,
and make haste to the prison that has fallen in Niflheim. It now lies near the Raven Tree. Do not let the prisoners escape. At that point, I was like,
ah,
that's gotta be. Hmm. I bet Tyr's in there.
big brain.
And then it's make haste to the prison that has fallen in Niflheim. The Allfather may be gone, but we will carry out his will and ensure the prisoner never sees the light of day again. That one might be when you're in the prison that you get that, but
Oh yeah.
Also in a different spot in Niflheim, you can hear
Oh yeah.
Sinmara.
yeah.
Sinmara? Yeah.
Just
Sinmara,
hear her
yeah.
weeping.
Crying.
Yeah.
Jeez.
One of
Like
them is
actually
like,
gave me a
maybe should
fright.
we go talk to her or something? It's like, and like
Yeah.
yeah, Mimir suggests going to talk to her, and like Crito's like, no, that would not help her.
He's right, but I still
Yeah,
wanted to.
he's been there. Um, I mean, we never know. More games, possibly sequel. But before that, Tyr is we get to see him in more locations, and I did not see all
Yeah,
of them.
what's up with that?
I looked. I mean, he just
Well,
explored.
he then just travels the world
Yeah.
to see like what has
That's
happened
what he
since I've been in
did
prison.
before.
Like I've missed everything. I missed Ragnarok. Like what has
The
happened
way
to the
he puts it
realms
is
Right.
in the
the
time
world
I've
was
been imprisoned.
Ragnarok was happening around me as I drew tally marks on a
True.
prison wall.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I would see him and he'd be like, "Leave me alone." I was like, okay. Well, I wasn't trying to find you, but okay."
Yeah. I think in Midgard he has like a leave me alone line. There's a
That's
couple
it.
other places,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
He like
he's very
meditates
like
in
he's not the same.
Anaheim.
He's not Odin tier. He is a similar. Like he's similar. Odin had
Yeah.
it close, but he's not the same guy. Also,
Mhm.
I didn't notice this.
And I
but-
think this guy would go to war.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems a little angry.
Yeah.
If you have the
not-
colored like name, like you know how you can see the names of people if you turn that option on in subtitles, like you can see the name of the speaker.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
If you have, I believe they're color coded, and this tier is
it the same?
yellow, whereas the other is blue.
Oh.
Oh, huh.
Okay. What's Odin's color? Do you know?
I don't know. I'd assume blue,
Be
but I
cool
could
if
be
it was
wrong.
the same. Yeah.
I think they use like a bunch of people have the same colors. It's mostly to differentiate like
Oh, okay.
who's in a scene.
Within one
Speakers.
conversation.
Yeah.
But because of that, like people will have consistent ones throughout.
Right.
Any other post game stuff you wanted to talk about?
Did you guys do the Valkyrie fight?
Queen.
I fought her. I
Yeah.
didn't win. I came close a couple times.
What about
it was
you?
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice way to resolve that
Yeah.
that relationship between Freya and I've forgotten her name.
I like that when you
Nah.
just Gna, yeah.
No, Gna,
Nah.
yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if the G was
I like
hard
that when
or
you
not.
just leave, Kratos
Nah.
like, not yet. And anytime you come to or like leave her or come to her, she's like, aha, no matter what you do, it'll be the same. I'm just gonna stand
She
here
just
until
taunts
you
you
fight
every
me.
time you like leave and come
was-
back.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was really fun. That I went back and forth between that fight and like the king fight of the berserkers, where I was like, okay, I'll try this fight, and then eventually I was like, all right, I'm just gonna buckle down and do the Valkyrie fight, and then after like 2.5 hours, I beat it.
Right.
It took me a bit, but then the next day I would have one shot the king, but I just didn't have like a resurrection thing, and so then
Oh
I bought one.
no!
I realized mid-fight, I was like, "Oh, I did the Valkyrie last night and never bought a new
Yeah.
stone.
I
Whoops."
know. I know exactly that feeling. It's like, I went straight into another big fight, didn't I?
I was like,
Okay.
"Better not die."
Any cool
And then I did.
reward for beating those two?
The
I think
Valkyrie
it was
Queen,
armor, right?
Freya gets a cool armor set.
Oh.
She
Yeah.
gets the Queen's armor. And then I was pissed that that Kratos didn't get the King's armor by
Oh
beating the
man!
King.
Now you say that,
Like,
and I'm
come on,
upset.
man. Instead he gets the, Knights of the Round equivalent, except in God of War, like a FF7, Knights of the Round equivalent, where the broken hilt of the king, blah blah blah. Once known as the sharpest, sword in the realm, it houses the souls of the king's 12 bodyguards.
What?
And then you use it, and the 12 swords get summoned, and they just attack the enemy relentlessly.
That's so cool.
And it's really cool.
That's the this is for when we give you New Game Plus in 4 months.
Also, when you have New Game Plus,
That's
one of the other
not
relics.
confirmed, by the way. It's just
Well, still.
Yeah.
a lot of Sony
Sure.
games will do that, where they will release New Game Plus 5 to 6 months later.
Yeah.
Well, once you do it, if you get all of the hilts now, you can have Sindri's tuning fork that he used to destroy the wall.
Oh, that's right. You did tell me about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's just on the ground in the prison where you find Tyr.
Nice.
I was missing one for the achievement. I was like, where is that? I looked it up online. I was like, it's on the ground, just on the you just need to press circle. It's on the ground, it's not in a chest. It's just sitting there.
Yeah, that would be weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to go back for that.
Is that also when we also get Mimir's eyeball laser thing?
Oh,
You
that's
get
the best. That's
that
the one. My
as
favorite.
soon
That's
as
the one
you.
I
I
use.
think you
It's
get that
the
when you beat
best.
the game.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's the
still very
best
cool.
one. I don't care if it's impractical sometimes. It's the coolest one. I will use it forever. I want to use Mimir as a laser.
He's like, this is unpleasant.
Okay, I wanted to ask, now that we're reaching the end, what do you want from what do you want from God of War 9?
Stop it.
No, never. Wait for them to just call it God of War again.
Oh my god.
God.
Well, what do you want?
Of war.
Yeah.
What do I want? I would probably prefer a game that was Kratos, but I
Yeah.
can see it being Atreus and, Thrud or Angrboda. I can see it being the next generation. I feel like that kind of makes sense.
I
Kinda
cannot
like what
tell
they're
you how
doing.
much I don't want that. I want Kratos.
I I agree.
I'm
I'm with
okay
you
if it's like a
100%.
one-off, like a
if we
Miles
do like
Morales
a
type
Miles
deal.
Morales, Uncharted Lost Legacy, Infamous First Light, like a mini game, I'll take that.
Mhm.
I will
Mhm.
take a
Yeah.
I don't want it to
shorter
be the
one.
next main line.
Yeah,
I'm 100% in
that
agreement.
can be God of War
I
9 as
don't
long as I get God of War 10.
even if it's Grandpa Kratos, like I would just love
But Kratos is
keep
immortal.
keeping
He
him.
doesn't ever have to get
Oh, he
old.
doesn't age?
No, he's
Oh,
he's
okay.
immortal. I mean, like
I think
he will get
he ages a little
slightly
bit, but
older.
not much.
Like
I feel like it's
So we got
optional.
another 100
yeah,
games. We got
basically.
another 100 games.
100
Yeah.
games. Kratos. The thing is, Kratos is a mascot before he is a character.
Yeah.
Like
He
he only became a
also
character after he was a mascot.
yeah, and he'll make a
Uh,
new family in every, place he goes, so don't worry about new
mm,
characters,
He's got
new
right.
Kratos has got
new
to learn how to
partners,
be a
new kids.
grandpa.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Okay, so Lucian, what do you want? What do you
Go
want for
to
the next real
Egypt
game?
or
Egypt. Mm.
Ireland
Ooh.
or Japan
Ooh.
Hmm.
and give me their mythologies. Because they're all really cool, and yeah, I know those mythologies a bit more than I would Norse.
Mhm.
Japan less. I just
You
want
know,
give me Gaelic, man. Gaelic
I mean,
mythology doesn't get any love
we had a
ever.
lot of hints for Gaelic mythology. Mimir
We
the
did.
that makes
Berserkers and
sense
the
then.
Kelpie are from Gaelic mythology, or ish. It seems to be a wide range of what exactly that entails.
It's also pretty
From my
close,
wiki
like
research,
you
for
know,
5 minutes.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that
Like
makes sense.
DLC?
yeah.
Actually, no. The director said probably
No.
don't expect DLC.
Yeah.
And I don't want DLC. I saw that
Nah,
they
Same.
I'm
said that
good.
they had pretty much left everything on the table, and I'm like, good.
I like
They come
Yeah.
away,
yeah.
they finished with their product, go
The
focus on
idea with
something
this
else.
game was let's do every idea we have for Norse mythology.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mhm. And it was really well executed, I
No.
think.
Okay, now I know what
I'll
I
just
want.
do that with every mythology.
I
What do
shall
you
tell
want?
you what I want.
Yes.
I want.
Yes.
So somebody once told me. No.
Oh my
Uh,
god. It's
Someone
too
had
long
to.
for this aggro.
look. Uh, somebody comes to Norse mythology after the Norse lands after Kratos has made peace. Everyone's happy. He's going great. He's ruling over, not ruling, I guess, but he's doing great. He's protecting the people, and somebody's like, "Help! I need help. We need help in our land." And he goes over to Japan, where he can become a wandering
Yeah.
samurai. I need Kratos to have a katana, is what I need. I need katana
Oh,
Kratos
I'm with you.
now. That's all I want.
Oh, I can
Anything
already picture
else,
him in
I
the
don't
armor.
care. I just want a katana. That's the answer to what I want in the sequel to all video games, but still.
Yeah, I like it.
But any last overall thoughts? Anyone
Yes,
wanna
I do have
share?
one more
Yes.
thing to say.
Go
There was a
for it.
charm I picked up, or maybe it was a talisman, I can't remember. And it didn't do anything.
Oh,
What's
so
Oh,
that about?
if you
uh,
so reading
yeah.
through your like codex, right?
Hmm.
There are certain notes that have like information on it's written by like a dwarf and they're
Mm-hmm.
writing about like, hey, here is this giant or troll or whatever is here. They're frozen for this reason, blah blah blah. Do not
Ah,
touch them. If for whatever reason someone is stupid enough to wake them up, here's how to,
use the talisman.
right. So it's a method of imprisonment,
Oh,
like Knott's slumber, and so they're imprisoned, and you can wake them up, and that's
I was
how.
wondering how to do that because I've been
Yeah.
seeing them
Yeah,
all over the map, and I was like, hey, this guy is definitely
Yep. I
something.
didn't.
But
there's
I
actually a
had no
stone
idea
dragon
it was
too.
that. Oh, I remember the.
So Dragon Beach has a
Oh,
stone
I
dragon
remember
you can
that.
use it
I
on as
remember
well.
Freya saying like, "Man, that looks very real for a dragon."
Yeah.
I'm
So
wondering
I
how I could
fought
get it to
that
open
because
up.
now that it's post game and I've done everything, there's no enemies anywhere. Uh,
oh yeah,
so I
lovely.
I, uh, I went there in search of a foe,
You
and
find
killed
someone
it.
worthy to fight.
Nice.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh.
Shocker.
I'm too strong
And
because I have the armor from killing those
You just need
things.
New Game
The
Plus
Hmm.
the
soon.
frozen things. You get the Steinborn waste or like the Steinborn armor,
Oh yeah.
uh,
Tell her about
which
that.
is the armor I used to get through the game, which is why I've had massive defense for the whole game and never died.
And what does it do?
Oh
I know
my
you've told
god,
me,
you
but
never died. Holy.
The chest armor is that after you take significant damage, his attacks restore health for some time. So you take damage, and now you have lifesteal. And
Oh,
then the other two
nice.
pieces give a moderate luck chance to stagger and inflict stun damage to nearby enemies when damage is taken.
Oh.
So, yeah. It's very good when you make a mistake in a boss fight uh,
Mm.
or just generally just allows you to not really care about blocking.
see,
Yeah.
I think I used the same armor you did, Will, but I used the dragon armor,
Yes.
the
Yes.
which adds a strength
Parry
and
thing,
stagger
right?
boost when you parry after you parry.
Mm-hmm.
Up to
Mm-hmm.
it's like 5 seconds, I believe, but you can continue that indefinitely theoretically.
Hmm.
But it's my favorite one. I was like, you mean I get rewarded for parrying? Yes, mine.
I did change the appearance of my gear before the
Yes, that's
Oh,
Ragnarok
true.
battle.
I liked that.
I didn't have
Yeah.
my chess piece all the way leveled up, so I was like, do I want to be, practical,
I
or
had
do I
multiple
want to
pieces at
look
9.
cool and match all my friends? The answer is
Mm-hmm.
match
Mm-hmm.
all my friends, obviously. Also, a major complaint I have with this game: why does transmog unlock at level 9? You're probably done the game
Transmog?
by the time you get to level
It's
9.
you can alter the appearance of armor by getting it to level 9.
Oh. Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
you
yeah,
don't.
yeah. I thought
Oh,
that
Other
was
pieces
cool.
of
I didn't
armor.
realize it wasn't until level
not
9.
until you maxed
Yeah.
it out
Mhm.
for every
Ah.
single set. Like, I want to
Yeah.
play
I
through
like
the
that they
game
added
and
that.
look cool. I don't want
Right.
to only get to post game and look cool. I still don't have the chess piece at level 9. Actually, I need
I
dragon
have
stuff, so
like
I know where to go
6 at
get that
level
now.
9. Do I
Yeah,
have
I
the
think I have a
dragon
few
one at level
See,
6
9?
at 9.
I stopped caring about anything else as soon as I
Yeah, I
saw the
have a
dragon
dragon at
stuff.
level 9 and I don't use dragon.
Yeah, but you killed one more dragon than I did, so.
That's
Huh.
fair.
Also, there's probably one in Muspelheim somewhere, right?
I don't think so.
Oh, then I just have to go kill that one dragon. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because each dragon drops like a specific number of resources,
Yeah, I
Right.
looked in the
Yeah.
codex
and
and
you need
saw that I
all
had
of
only
it
killed 4
to
or 5 and
max
I
out
said,
the entire
"Excuse me,
set.
where is the last dragon? I am hunting it down," and found out it was the Stone Beach one.
It's dragon season.
Yeah.
But yes, overall thoughts on the game you wanted to share now that we're reaching the end?
Yeah. Game good.
That's what I said.
I legit.
Like,
Uh,
I had low expectations going in because I liked 2018.
what?
Okay, not the lowest expectations. 2018 was an incredible video game, but relatively, I did not expect it to surpass 2018 very much.
That is
I
so funny. I
expected
had the exact
I
opposite.
expected 2018 again with the same flaws, maybe
Oh.
new enemy variety. Instead,
Hmm.
they fixed everything I complained about in 2018. I think they the story was better. The combat was everything good in 2018 was better. Like just
And inherently, it's more interesting because Kratos is now allowed
yes,
to be interesting.
Kratos is more like Kratos is one of my favorite video
Right.
game characters
Like
now.
he had to be who he was in 2018 for this to
Yes.
be
Yep.
like
Agreed.
for this to land. If he
Mhm.
was this in the last game,
What
it wouldn't
growth would he have been able to
exactly.
do, right? Yeah.
And we needed that transition period from like, you know, Greek
to Norse.
mythology to this, and it worked. It worked really, really well.
Yeah, I think like
Yeah.
it's a near perfect game. It managed to reach my top 5 games of all time. Like somehow this year is incredible because not even game of the year. A the Somnium Files go bye. But still, like this game's incredible. Like I love action combat. Like it's my favorite kind of combat. This is my second favorite action combat. after DMC5, which
Mm.
no, I doubt anyone else does, but anyone who knows me super well knows that's a very, very high bar.
Right.
Uh, I love this game so much.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't platinum games
Mhm.
very, very rarely, and I platinum this. So, this is a game that had collectibles, and I still platinumed it.
I don't try to
I
platinum
just
games very
enjoyed it that
often,
much.
but I tried. I failed, but I tried.
This was
Yeah.
in the zone. I was like, I'm just playing this. Why stop?
Yeah, no, I played 2018, fell in love with it, had really high expectations for this one, and they were surpassed. And
That is
so
the
I'm
best
just
feeling in the world.
exactly, exactly. I tried not to. I actually
Yep.
tried not to get too hyped because I was, I
Mhm.
didn't want to. I didn't want to get my expectations not met. But yeah, no, it was just
No.
everything I didn't expect any. I couldn't. Usually I can like predict what's going to happen. There were lots that I just had no idea what was going to happen. Apart from those things I was saying where like I would say dialogue and then the characters would say it, like it's just very nice to have a consistent story and true growth from characters
Mm.
is very enjoyable.
Yeah, and it feel natural too.
Yes, big
Yeah.
time. Feel natural in a really like fantasy setting. Like
Mhm.
that's a dream.
Yeah, yeah. This managed to land like a grounded story in a fantasy setting, which is
Hmm.
pretty tough.
Yeah. Like, I also found that line between like being serious and still having fun, which I find a lot of stuff can have
Yes.
trouble finding a middle ground, and I think it really nailed it.
Yeah, like usually when I play video games, I don't really find myself laughing that much, but I laughed like throughout the whole entire game. And it would be like the random banter they have.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kratos walks in and Sindri's like, "Hey, you want a snack?" And he's like, "I do not need a snack." It's
Oh,
just
I do
so
not need a
like
snack. It's so good.
it's so good and I couldn't even explain why other than like he says things funny
He
and
does. His delivery on stuff is so like
Mhm.
always monotone and serious. It's
Christopher
like I do
Judge is
yeah.
not
so
need.
good.
Or, it's Atreus asking him a question 3 times in a row, and it's, I do not know, I do not know, I do not know. It's just so good. I'm glad to have played it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us on this nearly
Thank you very much.
4-hour-long podcast.
I'm sorry.
It's
No, do
no,
not
it's
be
not your
sorry.
fault.
This is my
Oh,
goal.
geez.
I
This
long to be the
absurdly
person
long
with very long
podcast.
episodes.
Apologies for not letting
It's
you know
taking
it could be this
sorry
long.
for taking 4
Thanks for
hours a
staying with
day.
us. Yeah.
I think it's
No,
almost
I'm so
dinner for
glad I
you.
had yeah, I had other passionate people to talk to about this game. Ah,
uh, yes, this. If you're somehow still here after 4 hours, you're a crazy person. Uh,
Thanks.
thank you. Uh, this has been Under the Iron Flag. We'll be back for God of War 9 in 5 years. Probably. We'll see.
For Gaelic mythology, please.
Japan.
opium.
Japan. Modern day. Wink.
Oh God, no.
Christianity.
No.
We gonna fight the Lord. Okay.
Imagine. Oh,
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
bye.
Feel